reintroduce nna ke bidio ya taolo boipuso Lucas ke mopalamento wa go birwa ke member wa ke chairperson wa Public Accounts Committee. Sorry. Honorable members,
Ardubeleng ke bidio ya Blanche Mambeo ke member wa committee mo parlamento wa Gamalete.
Dumelang bagaetsho ke Uncle Shimamonageng, member wa committee ya gape ke le mo parlamento wa Molepolla South.
Ina Jamek Victor Billy Pologolo, mo parlamento wa Kenya West, member of this committee, chair of finance and estimates.
Dumelang ke gore tse ke kgonegile mo parlamente ko Maun East.
Good afternoon, Motlhale Mamwalus MP Nkange.
thank you very much. The three AGs, Parliament and the advisor, please introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon. Keneilwe Pelso Getsi, Office of Accountant General.
Good afternoon. Janet Madiepe Mahana, Deputy Auditor General. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tapapiwa Mutsumi, Attorney General's Chambers.
Good afternoon. Ke bidwa ke ba fense ke tshajwang ke mothusa mokwaledi wa parlamente mme gape ke dira tiro ya bokwaledi mo komiting ke a leboga.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. For the record, the names are Theo Seletso for the Parliamentary Council's Office. Thank you.
Dumelang ke bidwa ga Mangolebele ke nna ke gapollang committee ka tsa accounting le auditing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. By Maruna, Polelile. CEO, PS.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee and your support staff. My name is Rul Jimmy Opelo. I'm the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour and Home Affairs. I wish to very quickly introduce my colleagues here, if you allow, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, so I have with me here the Commissioner of Labour, just sitting on my right, Ms. Veronica Moloko, so the Commissioner of Labour. I then have the Chief Accountant, Punya Musimakoko. Sorry? Bernadette Musimakoko, but she grew up as Puna, that's what I know. Yeah, okay. She comes from, and maybe the story that will explain as well. She's from Ministry of International Relations. But because of the evolving nature of our ministry, she happened to be at some stage involved in what we are going to deal with today. And there's a couple of those kind of scenarios as we proceed today. We then have Mr. Carlos Calaute. Mr. Carlos Calaute, he's the Chief Executive Officer of CITF. Am I right? CITF, yes. And she's coming in here, he's coming in here rather, on similar basis, like she's also coming here. And then he's coming from, yes, that's where he's coming from. Then we have from DT, DVET, Reolifile Muchoti, who is the acting director there, behind here. And then we have for Director Procurement and Projects, Memotali Pula Mabisi, she's here. She's coming here because she also used to be in the old skills development labor ministry. Who do we have? Then behind me here, I have Sylvester Komoki, who is the principal labor relations officer. And then his deputy here is Mr. Bumbanani Manewe. He's also coming from. Then we have another chief accountant who is also coming from somewhere. She's coming from Justice. Finance officer from Justice. From Justice. I forgot her name now. Oh, Tato Mokwa. So you can see if this was a grocery, we're kind of a combo. Because
yes, a combo indeed.
We have people who used to have their hands in the deck in as far as this function is concerned. So this is the team. And as we continue, I'm going to please that the four in front will be those Babatazang oath. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ko yana motho a nta go taka combo. Re go lebogele combo e ora. Ka gore ke re go supa gore yaanong mongwe le mongwe o tla arabela tse a kileng a di dira. Gone mongwe a re itumedisa. Re tsena mo legatong la go ikana. Re tla simolola ka wena Pierce. Ba tla go thusa. Lebogo lele. O ntsha la morago.
I rule Jimmy Opelo,
Swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga se. Ka tswalla hela jalo Commissioner. Tansala morago, I
I, Veronica Mustana Moloko,
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga.
Yalabo.
Yo tansala morago una.
I, Bernadette C. Pupunismakoko,
Swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga. O tansala morago se. I
go dira modimo Carlos Kalaute,
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga. Ke bone hela ba ikanang Chief Executive Officer.
Ne ke re gongwe ke for hela ke go na le mo gape o ka ikana.
Ehe.
Yeah.
O ka mo sutela ho Sakalaote motsotso a ikane.
Ke ba le bese.
O ba le.
Mona na o itse.
Ke re
Olifile Mochotli,
wa maemo ke.
Acting Director, Department of Skills Development.
Thank you so much. Tansala morago Mr. Mshotli. I
Olifile Mochotli,
swear by Almighty God
swear by my Almighty God
that the evidence I
Excuse me.
just hold.
Can you
Just
start?
hold. Yeah. Are we good to go? Ra simolola se. I
Olifile Mochotli,
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ra leboga se. Ba lekane. Ba lekane. By way of proceeding, I simolola ka gore Chief Executive Officer or neela executive summary o bo re neela dikarabo tsa tseo tse ne re di lopile mo nakong e e hitileng. ke a gakologela gore maloba ga o le ga ka o tala bobedi ebile ka mongwe wa ba fiwa ba tang go heta gangwe hela o ne o le ga o ne wa leka go araba dingwe tsa dipotso kgotsa dikgang tsa rona tsa session e itileng a gona le tse di saletseng ko morago re ta kopa gore re ga o hetsa executive summary bona mo heditse le tsene tseo tse ka tswa le dikgang tse di tswang mo session e itileng tse e leng gore di hantse di le mo tafoleng ya gago ise o responde mo go tsone ka mo kwa ka lo raitso o ka tswella pele wa re neela executive summary that shall give us a peep into the past, present, and future. Mme hela gongwe re tlhalosa gore maikano a la dirileng a raya gore tsotlhe tse re di bua e le nnete ka gore go tlhoka go bua nnete morago ga go ikana go raya gore ke molato hela o kwadilweng ka dithaka tse di tshweu le tse dintsho o ka ithela o hetse o tsene mo ditshekong tse di ka nnang tsa go lathela mo toronkong go ya ka bogakolodi jo re bo boneng ja diagente kwadilwe jalo jaanong ipe mo sebakeng sa gore le bue nnete gore le seka la iphitlhela le thula-thulane le melao ke o ka simolola raitso o pelo.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members of the committee. Before I run down my executive summary, may I request that you allow me to submit to you what you asked for last time when I was here. And you had asked for two things. The other one I've already submitted. The one that was outstanding, you have asked for positions that are vacant. I think it's already with your office. I did send it. You then asked for the Ombudsman report, the cases that we have with Ombudsman. And you had given 2 weeks for that. So I have that one with me. And I'm happy to hand it over to yourself.
Can you please? How good you how good you are? Ka dikgang tse re di kopileng mo go wena tshwara hela jalo o gakolole ba bangwe ka nako ga le badiredi ba puso mmogo re ka setšhaba o nne le gakololane gore ela gore tiro e go nategelele ko gore e re ga assignment o e neelo o e dira ka bogego o mo go botlhokwa thata bangwe ba tsaya ngwaga ba sa re neele tse re di tlhokang ka tswelela raitso.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, when we started the introduction, I did talk like we don't only have those who are working for this ministry now, Minister of Labor and Home Affairs. We also have people who are coming from, or officers who are coming from the other ministries or departments that happen to be part of the ministry at some stage. Just a little bit of a background, and I won't take long on this, but it really helps to appreciate both the account books and also the summary here. The ministry at some stage was the Ministry of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs. And that is what I came for in the last time when I was here. This time around, I'm coming for the Ministry of Employment, Labor and Skills Development, which later evolved into what is now Ministry of Labor and Home Affairs. As per the request from the committee, we were tasked with giving feedback on the assignments that we had committed funds for during that period. This ministry, actually, the changes and evolution that took place here started in the year 2009. Now, between 2009 and 2011, the government decided to take the brigades into its fold. You'll remember they were belonging to the community trust. So the aspect of skills, the aspect of blue-collar job, then was pronounced through the government initiative. The ministry then became the Ministry of Education and Skills Development. But it also in 2016 went another restructuring or rationalization of its portfolio's function. That is when the Minister of Basic Education came out. Then the Minister of Tertiary Education, Research and Science and Technology also came out. But then we will be answering to the third part which came out, which is the Minister of Employment, Labor, Productivity and skills development. All these changes, they were meant for a purpose. That the issue of labor or employment does not necessarily start at the workplace. It's not an event, it's something that has to be planned and nurtured by getting the people trained in learning institutions all the way until they get to the world of work. And that is where you see the names sometimes coming, skills development, tertiary research, and etc., etc. The ministry, as it were, between 2016 and 2022, became the Ministry of Labor, Productivity, and Skills Development. At that time, in the next lap, coming to 2024, it evolved again into the Ministry of Education and Skills Development. You'll see a pattern about skills and development. We are moving to the world of work. Now, as much as these transformations was necessary and was for a good purpose, I must point out ahead of the presentation that because of all this happened in a period of 8 years, on average, at least 3.5 years, this ministry has to transform and evolve into something else. Now, this was for a good purpose, but it also had its own problems in terms of progress, in terms of reporting, as you will later see on how some of the projects and some of the programs, they suffered because every 3 years when people are settling, or when they are putting up their institution, they've got to be on the road again to move into something else. But I'm just saying it so that as we go on, we will appreciate why things they are the way they are in this ministry. But I did mention last time when I was talking to Minister of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs that at that particular time I was restricting my talk or my presentation to immigration, to issues of immigration, issues of nationality, civil and national registration. And therefore today I'll be focusing on issues of labor, labor dispute, employment creation, and all that is related to labor aspect. So I thought I should give this background. Now, in terms of the labor part that we are doing, we basically concerned primarily with the occupational health and safety, and to a point, to some extent, also labor and social security. We are concerned, for instance, in terms of productivity, which is the main issue that I'll talk to later on here, and also the issues of employment. That is why not long ago, last year, yes, of course, we created the Department of Employment Services, which was never there, since independence, or as far as you can remember from some years back. But say, in terms of assurances of the committee, issues from Parliament, I submitted them, all of them, from this ministry now and the other ministry last time. I don't have anything else that I did not submit that speaks to, if you recall, I talked about production of policies in terms of occupational health. I talked to labor laws development, and I talked of Factories Act, and but they were part of what we talked. That I did present together with issues of immigration in terms of citizenship and all other issues, registration of societies. So in terms of assurances, if you allow, I would say those have already been presented.
Yep. You can go ahead.
Now, that being the case, moving into labor, employment, productivity, and related matters, we have managed to achieve certain things, and certain things we are still pursuing in terms of projects, programs, and some initiatives, with the whole intention of trying to make the workplace and productivity in this country become meaningful. In the year under review, we were given the budgets, as you could see them, and the figures are there in the document that I'm presenting. We also talked to the organizational mandate, which I did talk to. But I think perhaps what I want to talk to that we've been pursuing as priorities, one of the issues was to explore the issue of labor and labor social security. Very often, it becomes a little bit of a strange thing to talk about social security when you're talking issues of labor. People will associate it with local government and other associated scenarios. At Labor Ministry, we talk about this because they are related with the life of human being. You come to work when you are very strong and you are healthy, but there come a time when you become old and you can't work anymore. But when we look into our laws, one of the things that became a concern, it does not help motho because of age or whatever situation. Social security ya mabaka ya batho ba ka bogodi kana ya batho ba isko mabereke gope. What we want to do and what we encourage is a situation where we need to create an initiative where there could be some form of, well, I will call it banking, but I think savings that are under the social security benefit of people who were employees, so that they don't retire into becoming paupers. So this is one initiative that we are following, and we are very much advanced with it. The other issue, is the issue that we keep talking about, the Botswana Decent Work Country Program. In the Botswana Decent Work Country Program, we believe that with our partners, social partners, development partners in the form of UNDP, and also the labor in terms of ILO, we have started to categorize our jobs in a manner that they will reflect a meaningful gain in terms of wages, a meaningful environment with safety where people will work, so that as you retire with your whole limbs, everything else with you, and in good health. So we are continuing this program. And the other thing also we are doing is ensuring compliance with the labor laws. The labor laws that I did mention, not so much last time, was that it became necessary that we should put all the labor laws that were existing to become one law that talks into the issues of looking after the employees, their safety, their welfare, and the income that is consistent with the job that they do. This is the labor law that I talked about last time, the Employment and Labor Relations Act now, as we call it. That is one of the achievements that we think will help transform the situation that have eluded us for a long time. The document that I have there will argue why it will not be helpful to have labor issues go into different courts when we could have one court that addresses the issues equally and with adjudication being the same and done at the same level. And that was the purpose for that. We continue to do work permits, as you know. We want this country to become a place where people who can share skills with ourselves from elsewhere should be accommodated here. But we are facing challenges, of course, here and there. And some of the challenges involve the turnaround time. I will talk about what we are doing about it, but the turnaround time is something that really worries us, in that, the people who would want to work in this country or to invest in this country, they would want the request for them to enter the market to be done as quick as possible. But sometimes I must say it is not as quick as we desire, and it mainly comes from our programs and processes which we are dealing with. Other challenges that we see, and I must go straight to the key ones, key issues are high unemployment, particularly among the youth, women, and sometimes also regarding people with disabilities. The laws that we are making now is to try to be inclusive enough to accommodate everybody else that want to partake in the building of this economy and its nation. So we're looking at those. I did mention last time some initiatives towards making sure that we deal with this issue of unemployment. First of all, of course, is understanding the rampant, how it is. And we have done all the work to know in terms of the brackets, groups, and sometimes in terms of qualifications. Say, for instance, we will know the numbers of people who drops at what level. If people dropped at JC, for instance, junior certificate, people dropped at O level, or they dropped, well, they do have their diplomas, certificates, or their degrees. We have got a segmentation of knowing, together working with Statistics Botswana, how many of such people we have out there, because that forms the foundation of how we bring in our strategies in dealing with this matter. So it's very, very important that we do that. The other problem we are experiencing is limited labor market participation. And this is something that may, if not attended to, will not be inclusive as we want it to be. And we're also working into that. You will recall, sir, that we now have LIMIS, Labor Information Management Systems, that help us to identify people of various skills and where they are, and we can share that information with individuals or group of people wherever they are. There is also the problem that we consistently talk to, we are skills mesh. You know, as an upper middle country and also developing, one of the things important for us to do is understanding what the economy requires and prioritize in that manner. Who among the various disciplines, engineering, teachers, sociologists, etc., who do we think, where we stand in the economy, we can prioritize? Because they're all important. But perhaps what is more important is prioritizing, so that the ones that we implement first will be unlocking the economy for everybody else to come in. So this is one of the things that we want to deal with in terms of skills match. And that's why the training in the schools, as far as junior schools, will help us identify the rightful people for the rightful sectors that the economy needs. The last one, sir, is the issue of low productivity and competitiveness. There's a big problem here, productivity in this country. Only this week, there was a presentation of a IMD study, Institute of Management Development, based in Switzerland, where, as an upper middle income country, we were competing with other countries, developed world. And our numbers in terms of where we are tells us, is a reflection of what we need to do so that we improve our economy. Just to share with you what they look into, for instance, they look into economic performance to judge how we are doing as a country. They also look into government efficiency, ease of doing business in the country. And that's how they score us. And there's also the issue of business efficiency, so that how best they can do business in this country as development partners. The other thing they look into is issue of infrastructure, especially now that we are moving in the space here, ICT in a big way. So these are the issues that concern us. But during the year under review, they are saying, and I wanted to consider, to take this report as read, in terms of education and training providers, we managed through BQA to register a lot of people who would otherwise not be having some qualification that is recognized. But there are a lot of sectors, people coming from various sectors of economy, by law, they have registered themselves and they are seen as such. And there is also the point where the National Credit and Qualification Framework has been put into place. And so as we go across the sectors, we use these frameworks to recognize our people and how they can be deployed into the various sectors of the economy. Of course, the Ministry of Higher Education by then established the Department of Technical and Vocational Education. We have Remo Choti here, that's why he's coming here, to answer for any issues that may be relating to what then happened to TVET, what sort of improvement we believe by bringing TVET into the main line of skills development we have acquired. So, Chair, I know I don't have much time to talk to these issues. More so that sort of them, I did talk to them, like occupational health and safety, policy is there, productivity and competitiveness policy is also there. We've put it in the space. We're now working very hard to get the Occupational Health and Safety Act in place, because we realize Kana policy does not necessarily mean molao. Ke ka ha o eletsa dilo di ka tsamaiswa ka teng me ha go sana se se ra motho sere ha o sa ire sente o ka tselwa kgato ha ngwa go nne motho gore batho ba bangwe ba retse se mo le mwa se batang, and that's why we desire to have the act talking to that. There is an issue of compensation of claims. This one also has been a challenge to us in many different ways. Sometimes the kind of claims that are brought before us, let's say, we tell this and that, go botsa le ba ka bora hore batho ba go bona di tshwanelo tsa bone morago ga le baka be ka be gongwe ba di bone go santse nako ele teng. But if you go to page 9 of our presentation there, you will find that there are numbers that talks to during the period under review, how many we attended to as permanent or partial disability or total disability or just maybe a related occupational disease. So these are the kind of things. And just closing this presentation in terms of summary, the X minus, I did talk to it last time. We think we are progressing well. We started off ka khanya ho batela batho ba rona ba ba neng ba berekela ko mining gore ba ka thathubiwa gore ha go ka ithalwa go lebega ba lwala malwetse a bidiwang occupational health ke gore bolwetse bo ka tswang bo tsene motho ka mabaka a hana a berekela teng ya ka ba bangwe ba ne ba lathagelwa ke kutlo mo ditsebeng ba bangwe gongwe ba na le bolwetse ja mahatha. Compensation along those lines, we still have got about 3 years to go in this country. We will be going out ka di channel the platforms tse re dira gore bone gore batho ba ka thusiwa ka tsela entsenyang. Re na le gape the other side of things which we didn't start with last time. I did mention about it, care provident fund, madi a tshwana le body pension, annuity, etc. Lone re mo mothaleng wa one go leka go batela batho ba rona madi a eleng gore kana go tsene ba berekela go di mine tsa Africa borwa gongwe ba togetse ba sa itse mme re bonye batho ba ne ba itse gore madi a wa ka borwa ga kae. Se se dirang ke gore jaanong re tise batho ba ba tekwano ba go ta gompieno. They were here in what we call the first sweep, and they will be here in what we call the second sweep from the 6 to the 10. Re ntsha di document tse re nang le tsone re di tshwantshanya le maina a batang ka one le nako e batho ba ka tswanne ba ile kwa go batang vereko gongwe ba ne ba sia ba togela madi a bone ka nako tsa di-stereke and other things that did happen by then. But I'm happy to say gore in terms of compensation for occupational health disease we are talking of millions now already disbursed to a lot of people, a total of 1,853. And we are continuing, like I say, we've got 3 years to go. Last time, I think it was Honorable Paulo Holo, and yes, one of the things was that, and also Honorable Monache, we need to step up our awareness, and we also need to identify the rightful people who will be known. Ka gore go lemogisegile gore go setse gona le ba tsamayang thaengwe ba ipitsa gore ke ba ba nang le rona mme ba e dira ka tsela e seng yone ba tsietsa batho ba batla go tsaya madi mo go bone re tse re kgakololo yo bogolo re tile go e dirisa re be re share le lona information of how we are going to be going to the respective constituencies. Le yone you remember Honorable Monageng one high example ke bua ke tswala ya gore ko kgaolong ya gagwe o itse ka hane batho ba ya no ke tebata madiane ba bonye ya no ba lwela a sa tise kagiso ya no ngatisa khotha that we should do some form of counseling and sit down with people, and this is the part in so that I must say Harry Simolo, and we'll be doing that. With those said, that is the summary of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierce. Relebogela epego eo mme ke nako ya mapalamente gore ba buisanye le team e hano ke tla simolola ka Honorable Phologolo ka gore o na le tiro e nngwe gape ya palamente ya go e tsena e tere hela ha sena go botsa gore ko Honorable Jacobs o ipaakantse Honorable Jacobs, you are coming next after Honorable Phologolo. Thank you so much, Honorable Phologolo.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon, Pierce and your team. Mabani, we had Attorney General appearing before us. Ngwe ya potso e re mmoditseng ke gore a gona le dikgang tse e leng gore ha le mo instructor to defend o kile a le ha bogakolodi ba gore no, rather let us settle and not continue with the matter. And then it turns out gore they do everything in their powers to ensure their advice, because Canaris are experts. They prevail at the end of the day. But then I highlighted to him, ministering Labor and Home Affairs. Le ka whenever kile ma ipeletsa gore ba tsama khatlhanong le taelo o khakollo ya Attorney General and intend to litigate or to defend litigation. Do you have any case of that sort? Sometime last year, about September.
Yeah, I can't really remember, but I know gore ha gona le khakollo ya Attorney General coming from our talk together to say, looking at this matter, we don't think this matter should be pursued beyond where we are. We normally adhere to that. What happens is that I know we do engage them. We tell it will be fruitless to pursue something. But I can't say it's not there because unfortunately I didn't come with my advisor here, my legal advisor. I can't remember off my head. I don't know if my colleagues can remember that.
Would you have any matters that you have appealed to the Court of Appeal?
I know that the case that I know went to appeal, the case ya dual citizenship. That's way back in 2022. And then that is the one that I can...
These ones are to do with employment matters, not any other.
No, I can't. I don't know if it's employment and labor. I don't know if my commissioner here can remember.
Okay. Let me not we will deal with it. I mean, there is an instance where Attorney General advised against litigation, and you wrote back to insist gore a tswelele a litigate despite the legal opinion or advice rendered by that office. So I think I will bring the details to you with the hope that you will consider or reconsider the advice. Most of that where we can avoid litigation, we should give settlement the best option than go all out and litigate. And your ministry, do you have any recommendations that come from the Office of the Ombudsman that has to deal with stuff falling under your ministry? The
report that I've just given the chair actually talks to all the issues that we have from Ombudsman. And we have also categorized them into those, I think about 2 of them that are already settled, those that are still ongoing. We still have some, protracted kind of talk with the Ombudsman. And it doesn't mean when it gets to a point where we realize.
Can you briefly speak to it?
Yeah. Then we then say to him, yeah, that's the. Yeah, this is the report that we have prepared for Ombudsman, or rather to the committee that you did ask for. And so, as far as I know, only those that are
appreciate
here.
what we haven't had time to look at it.
Sorry?
You will appreciate what we have not had time to look at it. You just presented it now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know you just seen it now. So I would, but I'm only saying that the whole idea of how we did this breakdown to say the names of the people, in fact, even the department where they are coming from, the nature of this dispute, we describe it. And then the date the issue was lodged with us and the kind of back and forth that we had with the Ombudsman. And in the last column, we have the status now. It's either ongoing, it has been settled, or we're still pursuing it.
Thank you. We'll look at it though, but because I'm pressed for time, other colleagues will, if they see the need, but it's already still on the same issue. Do you have any grievances, particularly from Babereki, labor? Perhaps to do with having to be taken somewhere or transferred to some departments or something?
Yes, sir. We have grievances not only from labor, from across. I think I would say from across all the departments, especially with regard to issues of transfer. So I wouldn't know the particular one you're referring to, but we do have them.
So how much time do you hope to resolve such issues under when everything else is in place? How much time do you put to have grievances resolved?
Grievances of this nature, they can be time bound, but it's not always exact because, this involves engagement. And sometimes when it starts, you may think it's just a small issue, there's nothing to worry about. When the information starts being brought forward, then you may realize, this officer has got a point. We shouldn't be transferring him or her.
Okay.
Okay. I just get it.
Oh, okay.
How much time do I have left? Still unemployment.
2 minutes.
Still unemployment. I'm reliably informed that there has been some group of young people who approached your office to offer the services, particularly to do with placement of graduates to international organizations, to have job opportunities and all that. Is there any truth in that? And what is the attitude that your ministry has towards that initiative?
Our ministry's attitude is that such ideas are welcome. In fact, yes, it's true. We have had people who presented their proposals, right? But like any other proposal, the proposal comes in, you look at it, and ordinarily things that come forward is, first of all, some form of, how do you call it, either memorandum of understanding or memorandum of agreement. And also whether there will be some finances, some budget that comes into it. And some parameters to consider is, where are we going to be placing these people? Is it safe for our people? Can we start talking maybe government to government, country to country, and say we've got a young person here who's got this idea and is probably working with a company in that particular country. How much do you know that company? Or how much do you know those people? Because we think it's a good idea and we want to run with it. So depending on how positive all these responses are, we always want to engage and work with them. I know for now, we do have, I think, 3 of them, which we are still assessing.
So do you see any value that can come with engaging with young people, particularly when it comes to dealing with opportunities outside?
You will be amazed, Honorable. Young people, I've met young people here who are very creative, who have got the potential to help government ministries in many different ways. And, you know, besides that, you will know that young people, they've got energy, they are ICT savvy, and they want to take chances. They want to take, and so the reason why when they bring such document, we look at them is because from the beginning, you can see there is a purpose here. There is an objective in this. It might be maybe experience or there could be other things behind that you need to be careful dealing with this matter. But of course, young people, some of them are very brave. In fact, we do have some of the young people that came to us that are domiciled in other countries outside here, and they are doing well with some company. They went there on their own, and they have been engaging us, telling us how best they can take that and extend it to us. And we are working on the modalities with respect to that.
Thank you. I wish I had much more time. Chairman is looking at me. Kana, when we appropriate these budgets, the whole idea is for there to be impact in society by job creation, service delivery, and satisfaction in a whole. Would you say the budget that you were appropriated has managed to achieve that? Do you have any targets? And are they achieved or achievable going forward?
And this basically takes me to the preamble that I made with respect to how the transformation and evolving of this ministry has gotten to a point where some of the very good initiatives, some of the very good ideas could not be implemented. And if you look at the implementation, the percentage of the project implemented there, you will find that they are not really up to where we would have desired them to be. But the bulk of why that happened, and I have the Reha Kalaute to come and explain some of the things why they could not by then reach those targets. But if you look at for instance, the transformation that was to take place at schools, where ICT was a program that was ongoing, and our kids were going to be given training and given laptops and what. That program ended, I think, before it got completed. And these are some of the things that when you ask me if we really, by then, under the period under review, achieved the targets with the budget, I would say not entirely. Because to achieve the budget, the target, first you utilize the budget and you use it for a product that you can see yourself. But if you end halfway, then you haven't really achieved what you're looking for.
I will share the cases through the secretaries of the committee. The whole idea is for you to look into them and make sure that these matters are resolved and not go out for full litigation. But in closing, on my way out, labor inspections. When was the last time this was carried in Kanye, and how many labor inspections were done in the past 2 years?
During the last meeting, I also got with you. I have. No, I was just saying, I have a report.
No, keep on the mic.
Okay. No, I thought maybe we thought it is there. I want to say, I've got a report that shows how many those were done, and I think there's also the one for Kanye, but I'll allow my colleague here, the Labour Commissioner, to talk to them. We have got a list including even the farms that we visited. So last time I did give Chair, oh yes, I have a copy here also. But yeah, you can work on that.
May I, in the interest of time, if there's anything on Kanye and Hopela, submit it to the committee. I mean, I was using Kanye to elicit Kai, but basically my interest is to know what Adiadiro. And even those farms, I mean, even if but if it's done somewhere, that would be an indication. Yeah, indeed something has been done. But then the question would be, you should reach out to all corners of the country. Thank you very much. So, yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Conrad, did you look at the Ombudsman? I see a lot of ongoing there. I don't know whether. Ongoing, the Ombudsman.
I think one issue would be hore. I get on it so tetsele na na tsoko Ombudsman tsonetse.
Chair, in our files, in our records, let me say, these are the only ones that we have. But it does happen, like in any other record, that sometimes you may not capture one or two, but that would not have been intentional.
Maybe the progress of Ombudsman.
Your observation, Chair, is right, that there is more ongoing than those that are completed. And, the thing about the cases, sometimes it becomes like protracted because there's got to be justice to it. We have to create the balance of making sure that people get their justice and that government is also protected for something that will not be just. So because of that, there is some engagement that may take some time, but what we want to do is to lessen up the discussion that goes forever because it could be like a justice denied, whichever side we look at it.
So,
but the 7 here, are you saying the whole ministry case it's a 7 here and it's not about 7 ongoing? I saw only the pets the report you are completed.
So ya ka ke ne ke bua go mo go tse 7 it's go tswetswele e lengwe hela.
The actually 11. Actually 11 go tswetswe e lengwe hela. So 10 ongoing.
Yeah.
Could that maybe an indication that either you are not so proactive in terms of trying to complete them, or it's just an issue of back and forth and the cases being protracted because of numerous other issues? I'm worried when I see out of 11 you only managed to close one. We are not saying close it positively, but we are saying close. I mean, you cannot have issues going on and on.
Chair, I agree with you. Maybe 11 is a big number. Or out of 11, only one has been closed. But I think going forward, what we've been discussing, these cases must not take this long.
No.
But like I was saying, we're trying also to try to balance this thing. Either me, of course, we got to not short circuit, but make sure that it doesn't go forever.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a concern from this table that you have so many and only a few, only one has been closed. So I think put a little more effort into that one. Honorable Jacobs.
Well, thank you, my chair. Thank you, Mr. Accounting officer. I think I'm just going to be so blunt. Sometimes, you know, they say words can hurt, but sometimes we should put them across the way they are. Now, personally, I don't believe in the labor officers. The reason why I say so, we have so many disputes, but it seems like most of those disputes are always sent to the industrial courts. I don't know why at the level of labor can we not be able to sort these disputes out. For example, we have the court Yakulubatsi. It had hired over 20 people, and these people have been on probation for the last 12 years. And all of a sudden, these people, they were told that no, contract aboni hedile, and and they never got any relief from there. And I mean, 12 years of employment from a government sector like that, and then you are let off from work, and labor cannot even sort those problems out. That is why, now personally, I don't have the belief in labor. Now my question is here. You say, this document says here that we have 10,358 applications for workers' permits. And from these workers' permits, 6,465 were approved. If you people are approving so many work permits from outsiders to come into this country to come and work, what are we saying? You know that there's a large number of people whom, you know, that are unemployed. A large number. Maybe 70% of this country are unemployed. But they are loafing and walking on the streets. But now, why are we approving so many work permits? And if you're approving these work permits because of specialized skills, then why are we not trying to train our people for them to be able to take over from those specialized skills? That's my first question. My second question is here. The labor office Kolobatsi. Lubatsi is comprised of a population of about 30,000 people. The labor office Kolobatsi, it's got one senior officer and it's got 2 administration people. How do you cater for 30,000 people? That is why I tend to ask myself, are we creating these departments? But they are not there to really give the people relief.
Yeah. You got 10 minutes, but you have already eaten up 4 minutes.
You didn't tell me, my chair, what I've got 10 minutes.
You have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. So.
My other question is here, accounting officer. We've had 10,172 trade disputes. Are these from private sectors, or is this engulfed also with the government sectors? Because I know a lot of workers also, they are complaining. So I don't think that this figure is the proper figure. Basically, those are the questions that I've had. I was still trying to prepare myself. Unfortunately, I came away a little bit late. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Piers, can you please respond?
Yes, thank you, sir. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Jacobs. Honorable Jacobs, please be blunt as much as you can. We are here to serve people, and if we're not doing what is expected of us, guide us and tell us to our face so that we improve in whatever we do. We try our best, but sometimes our best is not the best that other people see. But you are free to, I don't see anything wrong with your questions. Number one, the issue of people who've been working for 12 years. I would ask the Commissioner of Labour to take that one if it is true and who are these people. And if we don't have information yet, we would want to have it immediately. I'll tell you something. Sometimes people go to the district labor office and then bakupa thuso. Sometimes some people say, well, I just leave it. And they leave it like that. But now I want to encourage people. The structure of, at least in our ministry, how we do things. Start off in where you are, in your area. And if you don't get response that you think is appropriate to what you are looking for, get to the next level. Continue like that until you get to the minister and get anywhere else or PSP where you think there's someone who would listen. So we will follow up that one, but she will say whether she knows about it, and then, because personally I haven't known about it, but then we'll see how to go about it. There was also now, but can I encourage you to believe on us, at least after this, work very hard to make sure that things are, Then the other thing is the issue of how do we give payments to 6,000 people out of 10,000? What happens to our own people? Sometimes there is an issue around this, but let me just put it in perspective. The people that we will normally give permits, if you meet other people, they will tell you that we are not issuing permits. It's a debate that will come from both sides. But what we're trying to do is to balance things. We only want to give permits to those people for which we don't have skills for, number one. Number two, those who have skills our people don't have yet, we make sure company or an institution develop what we call an understudy program. Because at the end of it, we want to move towards localization. Unless where we get to a point where we can actually don't take it to that level. Because as much as we want people to come here and we want localization as well, we don't want the companies to run away because they feel horrid. As soon as they come here and do investment, we now want to take the companies away, something like that. We want the company or the business to thrive, but we want our people also to learn and to do that which they didn't know when the investment first came in. So we can dig into that and go one by one and see exactly whether, and that is why when some companies want to renew, to keep on renewing the licenses, we refuse to some of the companies. If you say to us with a program and say, I've got 3 understudies who are studying technology or are studying for skills transfer for 3 years. When 3 years finishes, you got to tell us these people are ready because you are the one who prepared it. If you tell us, no, they are not ready or whatever it is, you got to tell us what was the plan from the beginning. But there is also a catch here. There are some people, but when you say this, some people don't believe it or something. There are some people whom we have found out that they'll rather say, although they are few, they are not skilled enough for whatever reason. And we said to them, you can't keep doing that, please, because it is your life, it is your future that we want transferred to you. All right? This person said 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, you're taking over. Why are you also saying you're not ready? Those kind of things. So
yes, this thing about the understudy. Are you sure you still have it?
Yes, we have it, sir.
And it's working well?
It's working, but not entirely to the level we want it. Like, why I'm going on about this is because I'm trying to point out that even the beneficiaries, sometimes they disappoint the program. I'm talking about, last time when I talk about things that I can show. For somebody who will say, I'm not ready after 3 years, we renew again. After 3 years again, he still says, I'm not ready. Obviously, there is something that is not adding.
But the other side of it is when a person has been serving, say, for 3 years as an understudy, the time has reached 3 years, as soon as you not take it over. How when anybody hard work, okay, ba kubiwa. Ukubiwa hela le ga le go take over. What's all you mo o simula kwentleng. E ha 3 years hela jalo.
Chair, I cannot dispute that because some situations are like that. And in those that I said, we have refused to, in some instances where we did not allow renewal, is because we want something that is honest, objective, like where you started. And those situations that you are talking to, we have caught some people doing that. We did not renew the alliances, their permits, and then off they go. But you know, what we want to do is to allow people to know that this country allows you to become honest and objective. Come here and transfer the skill so that when you go back, you have made your money. Our people also have learned what you came here for, and they can work. So the short answer to your question, Ikore, is not entirely up to the way we want it, but we are working around it. However, sometimes they say to us, the understudy just disappeared. No, I'm talking about things that we experience. And then one day you see the understudy coming and say, man, have you taken over? They said, no, this is what happened. And then we said, lodge a case, let's follow this thing up.
Can you answer the rest of the questions?
The last one, before I give to her, is why do we have less people? Labor office, I think she will talk to why do we have, comparing the population of Lobatse and the number of the labor officers we have there. And then also if she's got an idea about those people who have not been attended to after working for 12 years in Lobatse.
Yes.
Please.
Commissioner.
Okay, thank you so much.
The question, there was a question that I asked you that you are saying that there is 10,172 trade disputes. From these trade disputes, are they from private companies alone, or are they from also the government sectors?
She will take it as well.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I wanted just to comment on the 1 year probation. Probation is up to 12 months for skilled workers. And if there's a case in Lobatse, we'll investigate and get to know as to why this happened. The old Employment Act allowed contracts to be short-term. They took about 1 month, 6 months, shorter periods of contract. That's what we've been experiencing in the country. But the new act is going to not allow any contracts for short-term. It's just at the discretion of the employer. So the contracts are going to be determined as to whether the tenure of service, the contract or the contractors that is given to the employers should tally with what the workers are given. So that will be addressed by the new Employment and Labor Relations Act. The understudy peers has touched on it, and including government, there is going to be no more employment of 3 months, 4 months of workers during the working period. Now, with the population, there is indeed shortage of staff in our district labor offices, including Lobatse District Labor Office. We know of the shortage, and we are working with both peers to try and source some funds to appoint more people in the district labor offices. And indeed, Lobatse is one of the cities, the towns that have a lot of industry, more labor officers. And then the 10,172 trade disputes, yes, indeed, those are the disputes that we received in the offices around the country, and Lobatse being one of them. These are disputes that are for government and also the private sector. And in that number, the government is plus or minus 80 only, and the rest of the figures are for private sector, Honorable Jacobs.
Now, if some of these disputes are from the government sectors, to make sure our workers remain at work and continue being happy. Now, the other one that we were talking about, High Court for 12 years. Now, I can think they were put on contracts or probation periods, 3 years, 3 months, 3 months. Now, these people, some of them, like I said, they worked for over 12 years. Yeah, no, how about it about Kubido? No, for them to get compensated, to get reinstated, because they came to me, Kirimo Parliament, and I went to Labour, and unfortunately, Labour could not do anything about it. I even went to Justice and Security, the minister, that I handed this issue to him, and it seems that now I'm asking yourselves as Labour,
yeah, that was the last one, Honorable. Let's allow them to answer. Commissioner, Lodira Janga Batuba, Honorable Jacobs Kolobatse, Maba civilian probation 12 years. You said 12 years? 12 years. Or never derlo di contract as education sabuma 1 year. Or 3 months, 3 months. So it's not even probation. These are short-term contracts up to 12 years. 3 months, 3 months, up to 12 years. Arlo Dirajang.
You know, before she comes in, I would like to say something. You know, she talks of the old law and the new law. One of the reasons why we made sure that the issue of short-term contract doesn't exist is exactly what those people have experienced. So in the new law now, we don't allow for short-term contracts. And sabubedi ke gore molato ga o bole. Molato ha ntse ya ka no ntse yalo le ha ne semo se ntse ka tselene se ntse ka yone wa rediwa gape. Under these circumstances, Hasimo is prescribed because somebody has been dealt with unfaithfully and there has been an injustice that needs to be established to solve the. So, this is the issue also to a minister. Now, I say some of the stuff. But I know we share a lot of information and for some reason we can't get it from him. We will get it from you. So please go ahead.
So Honorable Jacobs. Is localized Honorable Jacobs, I grow door PS Aromone. Money le one Kaderanga Kayin Sinja. Honorable Mabel.
Next I hear
yes, you see.
No, how put your yeah, no, I look these unfair dismissals and disputes go patting our government. By Rayang to solve those issues.
Yes.
I can't live government telephone.
If I give you a living example, Hona leba to ba ha gongwe ba ne ba kubilo mora government ba sa kubiwa sent. Me melao ya lebiwa ya sekasekwa ba ngwe ba itsheka ba bangwe ga irwa di what do you call this, is it commission or investigations ga ba o ithola ile gore ga ba kubiwa sent batho ba ntseng yalo ba kgona go busediwa mo ditiro molao ga gona molao wa government le molao wa ba seng ba government se se teng hela ke mabaka a ka ha dilo di diragetseng ka teng a ba wela hela sent ya ka ke bua nako tse dingwe le ga lota ya raba commissioner nako tse dingwe batho ba bangwe batho ba look, it's not worth it bo ba tsama khanya bone ne le khanyele gore gongwe ha ka la tisisediwa ya sekiwa sent go ka bona conclusion mo go yone. But you can
Commissioner
means jalo PS. Thank you, Honorable Jacobs. The cases are handled the same. It doesn't matter whether a private company, and we expect even the government to implement what is all the judgments local labor any court. And that's why we tell them because they did not implement the court judgment. At the moment, our mediators are government employees. They are supervised under the Office of the Commissioner of Labor. And in the new act, it introduces the independent dispute resolution structure. So those officers who are going to be dealing with cases studied under mediation and arbitration are going to be dependent from the government. They're not going to be government employees, and it's going to improve the way we're handling our disputes for ISA, the Khansa, the Bela, then le bahiri ba bangwe ba mo private sector. Ke a leboga.
Blanche Mabeo.
Tla ke go leboge Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, before balana kwa me ke kopa go feta ka e tleng to my attention.
Hello again, tse a yene.
Ke a go ere tshafela mogolwane wa ka. Ya gore PS you have taken an oath.
Yes, I
Last
have.
week har kopani you took an oath.
Yes, I did.
Babereki ba gago ba ko ofising ya ko Broadest ba re ga wa re bolela ba maru re ra. Ka khanyene re botsa ka shortage ya say stationery or di tonara ene ke experience le ko ga malete. Babereki ba go itatotse mongame ba re ga ba bua ba maruri. And I'm a bit shocked because PS, you are one of the experienced PSs. You are one of those who reference you as a very PS baba tlotloang. But keep saying why you know sabiwa maru ka gore. Kanye ya go di toner di a shota la ha le mo parlamenteng mo di toner le go mpie go di a shota mo parlamenteng. Today across government di shortage tse di dintsi la ha le toilet paper ya kgona go shorta. I'm a bit disappointed, sir.
But Honorable, I don't want to leave this issue like this because I want to set the record straight. I was on oath and I knew I was on oath and I told the truth. Let me tell you something. Remember, there were two issues that I talked to. Hono issue ya gore ke ne ke na le director wa mang director wa mang yo eneng aba supa le gore kana ko eo gone ga tsewa dikgato tse di ntsenyang ha ne motho a sa bua sene se le bane. You see, at the workplace we all work together. Ha ke na le director wa me ke moroma go lokere sa mo go bona gore a go mole ke boa maru mo go buiwa a ba tare ke tswakwa go lo mo ga gona boa maruri ke be ke mora kere jaanong wa go dira jang ka gore we cannot have Kurinna, I don't want to argue I don't want to argue in the space. So I've seen things on social media, but look, now I just want to say, that issue came from you. Na go no ro no le kwa keleng wa bua gore keleng a re kana kweo re bile ra tsa dipampiri tse dintsi o ra motswa ra o di ha maphata a mang.
Okay, PS. Ke ya utlwala PS. Gore skara janako.
Set the time on, please.
Gore skara janako. Ke kopa gore lekwalo le or that action that was taken against that officer o ko Broadest. O le share le officer ye gore tle re rufatse gore indeed go diragetse jalo. Are you able to do that?
It's fine. I believe my director ona le lone.
Please share it with us. That's fine. Share it with us. Because other than that, I'm going like I pursue a kanyeki. Yes, is it legal for the component who did demand hore babereki ba bone ba duele half o ga di jacket go tsa winter kana ba duela half o ga uniform e ya parang ko tirong? Is this legal? Talk
to that. See, mabaka pereko ana le ditumalano tsa mohiri le o hiriwa gore ga ke go hira o le honorable Mabeo yana mo tirong ya wang go e bereka wa go thokana le protective clothing me protective clothing ya go tswa mo go nna kana ya go tswa mo go wena. But there are levels where by the nature of the job go require gore it's not negotiable. And so, how bua yana ke gore ke palo ke gore nya ene le tiro en tsenyang ye re mehela gone ke itse gore mabaka a pereko ha motho a berekela mo mabakeng a ile gore go bollo go eng o tshwantse gore a protect kana go tsididi o tsena mo icing o tshwantse gore a nne le that kind of protective clothing le mo molaong go te ebile no re legal o mo molaong gore motho a neelwe protective clothing le baganye le seemo sa tiro ha berekelang teng.
Era ke ka rufatsa gore ke ne ke go botsa gore a kere wa labor inspections a le ke la kopana le khanye ko force cash and carry ba ne ba la ka khanye le ke la utlwala ko force. Well, it's not just force la haile ko bo kapelo they are required to buy their own uniform la haele mo di-filling station they are required to buy their uniforms. Have you met such issues?
Personally, no. Maybe Commissioner Gaurke, one of the inspectors, they met it.
Commissioner?
Yes, Honorable Mabeo, we experienced Kanye force and the inspectors attending to it. Le ko kapelo hala jalo mid inspection ga ise di wele go ngwana nka be re happy go ela gore e botoka than kompie go gare se rene le karabo ela gore ka iruri hatsa kompie, but you know of the force case I attend.
You are attending to it. You'll give us feedback, Akare. And then, Pierce, are you aware for some restaurants, the força ba bereki gore di jwa di setse masala ba ba força gore ba di reke? Are you aware of such? Ki bua yana ka gore ba go hungry lion ba ne ba ntse ba bua ka one kganye gore ba patelediwa gore masala di jwa ba reke. Is that legal?
I'm not aware of it. It's an improper thing to do. So thank you for that information. We'll follow it and we'll come back to you with what steps we have taken.
I thank you so much.
Commissioner, Hongo and Naka Okilo Autokayon. Hungry Lion.
No, say, I security kayon kai totomis.
The labor inspections are not advocates of peace. All of our one to Bala. I'm not the labor commissioner. But please, let's fight for them. Let's help them. Let's help them. They are forced to do these things because I go rebuisane ka kganye o le phatela gago go na le corruption go le phatela gago.
It's in order. We
take go fair direction.
I get about what's na we can ala
take go fair direction usia. Take go fair direction usia. Ki bua ka di issues a go issue di permits, di work permits jalo. A gona le corruption o kileng wa e bona gong fo.
You know, my answer to your question, we receive reports every now and then that indicate that there is corruption. And we say to the bodies that are responsible for that, please investigate, get to the bottom of it. And sometimes, corruption, and then we act quickly there with the evidence that is there. But there's corruption there. They have indeed come to us and tell us there's corruption. And in fact, there's a team, there are teams that are putting up together the information. We will see whether the information is received.
In terms of a milky land case, it's a corruption.
The evidence and other things have been put together.
Yes, a shota di electrician mo Botswana. The electrician ki king with a skill to shota mo Botswana.
There's a list here that shows Hore Reshota. No, not this one. Yes. Where is the electrician? Yes, it's here. I can share this with you, sir.
Are we the electrician fell?
High Ibu Hore. Tight level near ICT and digital skills. It's similar to the computer and data analyst and other people. These fields generally have more skills than available vacancies. No, skills in short supply, high demand. Kana this issue, this document that it's HRDC. It says okay. Yare. Skills in short supply, but in high demand. Engineering, they say it. And they end up here.
No, electrical engineers.
Yes,
electrician.
The technician.
At least the halayaw and good technician.
Me kana go kara ke go tsent eno bua ka di technicians amtakas di kwa di lo gone o ra di short ne ba twa ra ba hela
di kwa di lo yalo ke sona se ne ke se bala kere ha go tule skills in short supply and high demand ha bo go engineer bo go simolola ka degree level bo go tsana diploma level electrician ba tsana ka se diploma. So the authority that is responsible for knowing what skills are out there and what skills are in short, this comes from them.
Oh, so bare electrician they are short about.
That's what it says here.
Ba bilela ba dira district zo le ke bo mang ga ba tsefukela haruna o mlukutler ba botse
HRDC
ke ba bilela anyway ka gore o ikegile ka one document o tla ke tso moganyene ke batla go tsena mo go yone ke kopare bue ka
sorry honorable Blanche list your name right talker transmit go ahead honorable Mabel.
Thank you, sir. Ba Mama Bula coal mine, ba bereka moshumba plant. Likile la batlola, ba mpeletse gore minister o kile ba batlola, a wena o kile ba batlola kana any of your officers?
Yes, my officers have been there. The people from Baba managing the compact agreement, their human resources, they have been there as well. And she actually is a member of the committee and she attends monthly meetings, if I'm not mistaken. And other people from the ministry and drawn from other departments. Say since a minister, maybe analyze knowledge and skill.
Do you speak to workers, ordinary workers, management? They're complaining. Even right now, I just received a message. Right here, right now. They are complaining. They have been complaining for so long. But why are they still complaining?
The Honorable Minister and the Commissioner of Labour and the employment head, they have been to site and they have collected issues stating what's in it with you. But some of the issues, labor, I know we are going through them. Some of the issues now I think what we need to do the practicality and the theory aspect of them. For instance, there was an issue in a retailer issue at some stage. But operate the forklift. Let me tell you what was taking place there. The people who were recruited here, and you must go and follow it and check. This was the guy who was trained for over 30 years and lifted a 60-ton component at the building structure. Forklift, you mo operandi o mo di shell phone. Mo di nenyaneng. Le mo mo operandi lo tse dingwe tse di tsamayang ha. So ha re bua le batho ba rona re barare bona ga re gane. Because there was one person on our I've got experience. Have you ever thought when you go? We go. Can you hold? Salonazari forklift till Tatsana Motonella Center, deep peha, Hali Heletente. How that project is a very sensitive project and a big project, and there's a lot of annuity and what have you. And if anything goes wrong, it could be a disaster. So what Baba lift and they have to sign for them indemnity insurance. Yang reba ka etsa gore ba ga sora itso le bata ditiro le batswana gape re bata le bereka me a mongwe le mongwe a bereka ha ka kgonang teng but ga re se re heletse list ya tsone tsotlhe e ke ngwe ya tserne ra di
go tare yone ya Mama Bula ka gore ka re ba bona gona le sello se stona sone sa batho ba tswang konte go ka tswa gona le ba gongwe ba ba tsholetsang di 60 ton mme hela go lebega ke to kare even semi skilled mo bathong bona ba tsitsitsweng go lebega gore o kare ba tsitsitswe go bereka kwa di ke le tsenya le ithotata yone
le di-issue tsa safety ko light room mona fiswa ka motlakase a kere teng ko Mamabula. Are you aware of that? The issue of safety it's on a major concern for Batswana ba gaetsho ba ba berekang gone kwa le ba gamalete ba ba berekang gone kwa. Ke a bona le kwa gantsi kwa le ska la fela mo di officing mo le nwa di coffee le mo di koneng ke a le kopa. Tsama le go bona gore batho ba bereka jang le ba thuse. They are troubling us. Na ke tsile go Mamabula teng na. I've never even been there, but they have called me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mabel. The companies that go Mamabula ka lubua se gona le di complaints in terms of provision ya PPE and other issues that delay in payment of wages. And indeed, we went there with the Honorable Minister ka April and also engaged our office ya ko Mahalape because we're in a covering area right, and they're still working on the inspection reports because now there are so many subcontracted companies around 30. Engaged. But during the meeting with the Honorable Minister, we sat with the managers, company directors, as only the subcontractors, the main contractor to get issues.
I was told.
And went to talk to Abereki on that day.
You did.
And then for the office, yes, we did. And then the office, Yako Mahalape, Q&A continued now to follow up and go and engage more because na kwene si o mo kalo but are nela reporter tatan re share gore go samaile jang shumba ile included.
One last question, Honorable Mabel.
Chairman, CITF. CITF iko kote isaka kanya multiple grading. Is this true?
Can I request the CITF CEO to talk to it?
Kalaute.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it is true, Honorable Member. Multiple grading, recently do Malaria by the Riki, Bokolo, Raba, Colota. To Tasabasaka, because there's no dispute there. Arabacolota and Arabacolota. We have even written them, yes, we have even written them letters. It's acknowledgement of that.
Montlagodimo. Ke a leboga. Me Montlagodimo ba complain. Last year management we calculated salary ka 26%. Is that true?
Maybe President Wanga is a little bit misleading. Management they did not increase the salaries. I think there's only one cadre there's the level of managers. After a survey, it's not an issue about they were paid way below the average market pay. So then the board decided they need to be at least brought to the level, the average market pay. All the other levels, CITF, they were all found to be adequately in line with what the market is paying.
Okay. Abuti, we buangana farloana le re last week. DPS wa ministry urilare basantse go seka the 25% for others, but that is neither here nor there. I find it very strange gore management ono go ikokeletsa kana ba okelediwa ka di percentage on tse dintsi tseo, and then you are taking so long to pay baba go tlase. This is rather unfair. When are you going to pay baba kulutwa for multiple grading, because go lebaka baba kulutwa baba go tlase ba?
Thank you, Honorable Member. We are trying by all means to raise funds because we have reached out to government Hanamadi, and we are currently considering all the properties that we have, as a way of trying to raise liquidity so that we can pay the workers.
You are not able to give us a timeline of some sort?
I'm unable to give a definite time, but we are because we were given some time by the court to try and see what we'll be going back there in August, and so by the time we go there, something that we can present to the court to say this is how we are intending to raise money, and this is when we will pay.
Yes, it's a bit unfortunate that we can use money to go to court instead of paying Babang, or at least giving them hope It's really unfair. Kana we are the mouthpiece tsa batho. I feel very constrained to bua, but it's really painful. Gore ba bangwe, we are paying lawyers instead of gore re duele ba bangwe. What are we still doing in courts? The khandi tlhamaletse tsa multiple grading. I even have a letter in my possession. E supang gore go dumetse gore ba santse ba duele. It was long go tlhamaletse.
You have made your point, Honorable Mabel.
Che le gore ba defendiwa ke ma le defendiwa ke attorney general kana ke private attorney le moduela ka eng.
CITF is a state-owned entity, so we are not defended by Attorney General. We hire private lawyers.
Ke tsa gore go clear akere ka di kgantse di tswang ka teng go supa le kolota batho go tara gore le chema le ba temadi le ba duele gore yo tamaletse se ke se amogelang gore la re le kwadile lekwalo la acknowledgement ya gore la ba kolota. I think most entities around wa kolotang batho whether go di ministering departments or agencies ha ba kolota batho di khandi di tswa go court di a thots in their favor ha ba ke ba ba kwalela acknowledgement ya gore totara le kolota. So mo go yone motho sentse re a nyame holy le di lesson me please ba ta madi duele ba ke la bona go bothoko ya go kolotiwa mo tale kana go bothoko thata go kolotiwa bo ile re ya ba bangwe di manager ya ka ruta ga bone ba tsenyetswe 26%. A so re madi ona bangwe a one kwana ka ba duetse batho ga duelwa ba le go ntse go tsweletswe me ona re mabeo
ne ke re ke betse ya bofelo fa ile 1 year
dinna tsa bofelo tsa go dinna for
leadership
dinna nne ya no
nyaki ba ga malete ba ka mpolanga ska ka botsai
e botse
reliance
ja go million o bo regulate ka rinne bohelo
nyaki ye ya bofelo reliance ko Somalia ko wena o tala go yes ba berkang ko Somalia ke buile re go bitsa Somalia ko reliance ko DCP ko taolo ra ba tsentsa maina ga ntse ke so go gambi ba bidio amang ko go rwang DCP teng ko station ko taung ko Ramotswa na re go bitsa Somalia. Last year ga re le fane re ke butse ka bona re kile ba tlhola le ba Bolax ba short office ya go ra kile ba tlhola a o kile la tlhola di components tse di ko taung tsele yone ko DCP ko bo Bolax le tse di ko taung la bofelo le a teng ke leng.
Thank you very much. Arabantseo Honorable Jacobs o ngora ga sente me anka go hatsono ye nngwe ka gore Honorable Mabeo ene o robile molao ha se gore go ra no ke tsentse ke boele ko yone no go ngora ga sente raitso di company tseo a le ditodile Somalia ya tengwe ke ma Somalia le Bolax le kile la dithola mo bogauging commissioner
re tswa ko kana ha re le mo case ya ngogola re mo parliament Mabeo na ga kala thata ka kgang me kana ka mosolohetsa go ra go ya teng re tswa teng bile re na le report le gore ha o e bata go enela le yona jaanong le gompienwana re bile ra ga bedi se ga ngwela hela ba ke sa itseng gore ne ntse ba le mo lenano le bona ba ke sena bosupa gore re kile ba ra go bua teng ke ba Bolax but ba ke itse re ne ra teng ra ba ra go bona gore melato di contraventions sa occupational health and safety ne ba dira ke eng ra dira di recommendation tse bontsi ba tsone ke na le report re ndisetse di attendiwe mo lo wena kana wena le rona re ka yang teng ra go thola gore ba tsamaya ka.
Thank you so much honorable Monageng me offer ya gore o etsamaya le bone ko Somalia ke tsa gore o ta ya mogelo ta tsamaya le bone ko Somalia
ke ya mogela se
ko Somalia ke
re go Somalia
le tsamaya sente
Somalia wa Botswana
Somalia go taung.
Thank you Chairman. Diposo tsa me di tla nna 3.5. La ntlha me ke go a kgolela gore o bua gore le tshwanetse gore re le Botswana re dire gore ha motho a retire a ska retire mo poverty a kgone go tshela botshelo gore bo bo siameng gore kana o berekile dingwaga tse di kana I think we bua ka gore nna le wena we are living in the afternoon of our lives. Re ikela tlhoko le rona. Potso ya ntlha ke gore kana economy ya Botswana ile ko tlasela thata. And lephata lengwe le lengwe ministry mongwe le mongwe must try by all means to grow the economy ka tsela nngwe hela ba ka e dirang. Re play a part. Re make Botswana strong again. Yaanong mo go yone potso me ke gore lephata la gago le dira eng to try to grow the economy ya Botswana. Melao e leng teng e leng gore gongwe e thibela gore bagobi ba tle kwano ba tle go beeletsa ba batle go dira dikgwebo ke efe le lekang gore le sutise gore batho ba kgone go tla kwano kana go ntse bontsi ba bagwebi ba ntse ba re ha ba re ba dira kgwebo go Botswana go na le obstacles di ga di tsamaisa le dira eng go leka go remove those barriers jaaka go mpe go kitso gore issue di passport to heta ka yone mo go yone question e gore multiple citizenship ampo ke yone la reng ka yone Batswana ba utlwa gore yaanong o ka nna le passport tse pedi tse tharo ke potso ya ntlha. Our expectation gore minister wa gago in the forefront of all this.
You know, Honorable Monageng, I think this is a very good question. And first of all, we are not only dealing with the legal framework, we're also dealing with the policies. For instance, productivity is enemy number one. It takes two. It takes the investor and also the employee. As much as we want to decent work, le matshelo a lona to ka hale le tshwantse gape lona le tlhaloganyo gore motho ha ta ha ile mmeletsi o tile go dira kgwebo le o tshwantse gore a bone dipoelo tse gore batla gore le dikgaogane le ene gore le dikgaogane le ene you must be productive enough gore a bone dipoelo ha se na bona dipoelo a ba kgona go le duela madi a rene. So we do this from the policy and from the laws. Now we want Botswana, because ke rona re lebaganye le tsamao ya mesepele ya immigration gore in one of the best destination where investor are gonna attracted to come here. We know gore we are not the only players in the field, but we want from our side to be the best that we can. As we speak now, we are reviewing the Immigration Act. Re batla gore kgantsa labor migration re di dire ka tsela e leng gore ga motho a taharitse gore o tla transfer a skill to our people. He knows what our people have not yet learned, but this is the person that he can learn from. You know, you can imagine all the sectors. And I can a surgeon go the medical field. And I can motoids and tatabo foot and mouth ritzi. We want such people for habata paskabanali di khoreletso. So we want to make sure the turnaround time ya go apply la di permit tsa batho ba ntseng yalo. Banne mo fast lane because of what they are bringing to this country. Gota go beeletsa go bula diphata tsa mebereko gore batho ba rona ba kgone go bereka. Ga o bua ka multiple citizenship ke boa maru gore kana ile ha re tswa mo juale re be re tsana mo go multiple citizenship. Batho ba ba le mo businessing the whole globe, people who are in that space, they don't want to put their eggs in one basket. What they want to do ke gore ba batla gore ba ikole ha se le lengwe ba set up hale ba ikole lengwe hale ba set up hale. Jaanong normally it works better for them to facilitate their travel and business deals. Ha ile gore ba na di passport tse di ba letelang gore ba ire ya. So that's how the multiple citizenship came around. Mo bathong ba ntseng ya. So ke bua yana ile gore e teng element e sampeng e setse ke mo go tweng citizenship by investment. Me one e sala se ko morago hela ka mabaka a gore ga re se re connectelle boleng ja gore selo se se ka nna ka popego e ntseng jang mme le yone we are working towards that. So that's how we want as much as the best as we can go dira gore batho ba kgathegele go takwano ba tla go beeletsa mo lehatsheng.
Thank you. Lanik Solosore, you will expand more those barriers as part of the question. Kana kora kira tota ga re ipuletse re boletsa bareetsi kwa be a ke ba kgwebi a ke batho ba iletsa gore lehatshe le tsoge mo economy. So shine, I'm giving you an opportunity to shine.
Ke a ruta honorable ke nngwe ya dilo tse re batlang gore gompieno a kere go na le one stop service center e leng gore le yone re batla go improve dilo di le dintsi mo go yone. Mathata a ka no bua dikgoreletsi tse di leng teng ga gongwe ta ithela le gore tota batho ba batiwa dilo tse e leng gore ga o di tshwaraganya le gore ke eng di batiwa mo mogwebing di batelwa eng ga kwa se bona. We want to remove those unnecessary red tape without contravening the laws or without rona re-oppose the direction where we want to go. And I know my minister talked about this ko parlamenteng a bua gore gompieno ga gongwe ka melao ya citizenship ga motho a ta e le investora a tlile go thusa go thabolola economy go na le ga nnenyaneng mo molaong ga le go twe a o itse Setswana ga ke ra gore Setswana Setswana ke so se siame ke Motswana re Batswana rotlhe yaanong mo kgwebong a o ka se ko ire kgwebo la ga o sa itse Setswana. So these have been the barriers we need to turn things around. We need to remove these things. There's a high literacy in this country.
5 minutes.
No. I think you were going to tell us more. It's just that the new acting chairman, the work residence permit or automation system was shifted across 3 different ministries, as you know, since 2019, causing it not to be implemented. The project is expected to be completed Honeka 2026-27 financial year. Now the question is, how much is cost overruns? How much in cost overruns was used for the project? Cost overruns something nedi tsamaja. Then I'm left with 1.5 questions.
Sir, Honorable, to be precise, and I hope my commissioner will help me here because you was part of the project implementation team at a later stage. There hasn't been any cost overruns with it. What has been the problem is that the money was allocated, but the project was never implemented within that time frame. Yaga no super Honorable Monageng. In a area, ha Minister Retrenchment and skills development, can obidua labor and productivity. A baby hit this way since Madio now. Osana special or city room. To a point, eventually, it was taken to smart boards. When the ICT programming for the country is being looked after. Minister Retrenchment on skills, Retrenchment on labor development nase every project this we cannot go like that. But I'm happy to say as much as it has taken this long time, which is not a good thing to take such a long time without implementation. Number one, the cost overrun, except that money hard will last the receiver. Obviously it's not something that you can be pleased with. But as we are now, in terms of the systems more in place, it is 95% complete in the terms of automation. We now left with the process of system simulation. More the ecosystem interface the system. This service. But it's unfortunate that this project had to take this long.
Thank you. would you agree with me that the centralized work permit processing system in Gaborone is currently failing businesses, resulting in a poor 18.7% turnaround compliance rate? My question, is there a plan to decentralize these work permit boards to the regions or fully digitalize through upcoming 2026-27 automation system? Do you have any plan in doing so?
Yes, my Commissioner of Labour here will talk to it, but before she does that, let me just explain. We must admit, when ICT became something that, like the whole world, we became aware of. Midlo tse dingwe ra se ka ra di package aga batho ba ne ba setse ba le developed ba se ba le ko pele. That is why in some instances re ne ra tsaya lebaka gore to find our footing, to find our direction ka dilo tse di ntseng yana. Mme tota what we want to be centralized is the production component in all these systems. But in terms of data capture and sending it around to quality assurance and all other things, interface let the main hub. The reason why we would want the production area to be isolated from other things, your name in centralized, come back a security. Process, about the process one. Every local motorale ko hansi, Oka kona go dira abai rumela, for processing and quality checks kwan. May only production be on centralized. When we are happy with the security, it will be a question when we can have 3 areas or 2 areas. Say no for print according to the regions. But I want her to talk to it, please.
Thank you, Chair. Like PS is saying, the question you are asking, are we aware that the current system is not functioning properly? Yes, we are aware. And that's the ICS. It's under the Department of Immigration. The delay that PS was talking about on the new system, where work and residence permit, was caused by one of the reasons we, as Ministry of Labour and Home Affairs, following the restructuring in 2022, the ministry took a decision to merge the work and residence permit application, the process itself, because currently it's done under Labour and under Immigration. Those are 2 departments where the customer goes to 2 departments and requests for the work and residence permit. So with the new system, it's going to merge the work and residence and then have the applicant apply like the 2 under one in one system. And it will take care of the delays that we're experiencing at the moment as the ministry is and say all the visa, work and residence, blue card and other things that are among this non-citizen as he or she applies. Thank you.
Thank you.
To make it complete.
Let's go 2 minutes.
Kana system how na yo how to commissioner agua. Kana we have a situation. How to an work permit, for instance. If as an residence, how can you work there when you don't reside there? How an residence permit? How are you going to be there when you are not given work permit? Because on a second when you put them together, you don't have to go there work permit. Residence permit. That's not today's world. That cannot work. It cannot take us anywhere.
Thank you very much. My last question. Kana go tsaya lebaka gore let's say go ngola tlile o mang ampo yone passport there go e tshelegetswe ke metsi and to get new ones, new mang, new passport. Tota hela ka gore le telena le information ya ga shima monageng, all the information you have there in the computer. Why does it take long gore go dire entšha e le gore replace e ntseng le teng? Me gape ke pasella ka gore re sa ithipote mme re o tlhaela ka re ntse ana re le mapalamente kore go direlwa passport go tsere a day or two go direlwa di-passport re le bantsintsi yana yana mo go rang gore it is doable, it's possible. I'm not saying passport in the afternoon, I apply in the morning, but you should have measures in place. Omang amparing omang abanna bo dibeke boenga sa o bone le diraing go leka gore le go tsena ko eo ya go letela omang ampo passport jalo jalo. Thank you. Ke a hello chairman.
Che kana di khantse ke tsone tse reng ha re batla go bua gore ha gongwe gona le mabaka a bodiredi bo bongwe e seng botlhe bo ka se kang ba go seba ka bangwe ba ka dira ebe ke te ga o bui sentle mme o bua dilo tse di leng teng. I mean honorable Mabeo le ene last week o na a bua gore ene ga go a mo tsaya lebaka gore a irelwe kana na re ke o mang kana ke bua gore ha o ithetseng bodiredi yo o berekang sentle ha re leng teng gone ga wa tshwana go tsaya nako e kalo ka ga o bua jalo ga se gore o taupa batho kana wa ba re
but PS ha o ka ke wa tshwantshanya bo honorable le batho ba bangwe ka ha tsamaiso hela e ntseng ka teng issue ke gore di standard tsone di a reng because di standard tsa batho le di standard tsa bo honorable that different so ha o ka ke wa re mereki ha motho ata standard sa gagwe e le beke tse pedi a bo expecta re mongwe le mongwe yo ta mereki o ta mo direla mo letsatsi ha go kgona ga.
No, I agree with you, but the point I'm trying to put forward is this. Gore la re ipetse 10 days, 10 working days. Ha gore gore tiro ya go dira e ka nna hela re letile 10 days. Go a kgonagala. La ga o se honorable, go a kgonagala ba teng batho ha ba ka bua. Ba re gore ba kgona go direla passport in a day or two. Nako engwe ka nna le mabaka a di system. Nako engwe ka le mabaka a gore the caliber of the person who is there. So ki bua dilo tse leng gore they are practically di teng di a dira me ke a
but potso ke gore di standard tsone di a re kana potso ya ga honorable ke gore gompieno di standard di ba bo 10 days bo 5 days but go na le kgonagalo ya gore go ka diragala in one day. Why don't you reduce these days from 5 days to 1 day for mongwe le mongwe then go diragala
with the ka hara attendant di system tsa rona ka teng go pelo ka gore re lemogile gore re hokotse Chair, re lemogile gore re hokotse kgang ya go dira a lot of practical ga ke go diata thata re dire bontsi ba nako because it has proved gore ha re le bereka ka di system e le mo tsenya mo quality control a le go nna bo heo thata. To answer this question, this is what we are moving in now. Ene kgang ene re bua re now the system is advanced re simogile re teka but the eternal hearts amante. You will recall gore kila be rena le passport ene bidiwa go to express. Irile ka go lemoga gore go no go kgonagala gore without re thusa ba di dignitaries ka gore bona bona la ba thusa teng. I agree with you, but ke ne ke batla go supa hela gore ha gongwe le ha o se ka ha ba tsenang teng ko ba direlang teng le o le an ordinary person go ka diragala gore o thusiwe manakong hela e siame, and then improving our systems will actually help us gore re improve service for every person.
Thank you. Nya honorable Monageng ha ka ke ya bereka yalo honorable Moalus.
No, you missed you
Kaloga
nya
I think
honorable
honorable Monageng ga ke ga kgona jalo kana gore wena
nya ha ka kgona ke ra ka ke wa tswelela. You said it's the last one.
No, ne ke sa tswelele chairman.
You said it's the last one. Let it be the last one.
Kaloga ga go che gongwe ke botse ke le dumedise ke botse gongwe the Commission of Labor gore ha company le kwalela ba kopa gore le ba letele gore retrench kana gore structure. Do you have the power to refuse?
Thank you, Honorable Mwalusi. The Commissioner of Labor doesn't have the power to refuse the request by a company to retrench.
Okay, thank you. What about if there's information that we can come to you to say this company is exporting jobs? You would recall this year, come May, can get April, the quality company ya Chopis. Ile kopa gore le balete le gore structure. And they are restructuring the accounts department. They've exported jobs to a company called Chobe Business Solutions Private Limited that is operating from India by radio accounts at Chopis. So what are the data tsa gore le ka gana ditiro tsa Batswana di exportela go India?
Ke clarify the role of the office in the retrenchment process. Then the company would write to the Commissioner of Labour as per Section 25 and request or inform the Commissioner to say, I, Company X, am going to retrench. And there's a process that we follow as the office to advise the company who follow the process and also to say, company retrench. That's the current law. But in terms of the application, that was in May, April, requesting for informing the office that they are going to retrench. We are still at the stage, our company is still engaging the employees, but we don't have much information in terms of company transfer the skills to India and so on.
So even if that information comes, even from the employees themselves, the company is called Chobe Business Solutions. It's registered in Kerala, India. I even have the registration number if you want it. You can even download and see who the owners of that company is. And you can even go to Chobe Business as a big company and ask, after this retrenchment, how many accountants are left at Chopis? Obviously, Chopis cannot operate with 10 accountants. So they currently have 70 accountants, and they are all being retrenched. Hosala was not the accountants. A memo, Mahona Hopemula Wabutswana, will Oka Wale empower Hore. Lehane that retrenchment, it's a tiro. Tabatswana, Idisa India.
Currently, as we speak, Honorable Hakona Molau, Otamang Officer Commissioner Horukahana Company retrench. But Honkisana Momolango Moshavore, One Ulitella company if Pateles in some more information. At the moment, company can produce information, but not as expected in this coming law in China. Or company expose more information in terms of economical and in terms of whatever saying or Baka retrench. And as the commission, as the Commissioner of Labour, we are not empowered. We are not empowered to say to the company, no, we are not going to retrench. But there are ways, they are not satisfied in terms of the information they get from the company. The company is going to retrench. Back at side, to say, company
But the Commissioner, company case similar to process. By Monday next week, if not Tuesday, Malao Mosha would be kicking off. Mohora Hore, Kahata Samula Mosha, Letabelena Le Chanelo, Yahobara Lere, Nya. Is that what you are saying?
Still. Hawa had the commissioner those powers that we want. It's already Misa retrenchment, Campora Dirajang. There's still that liberty, more company, retrench, but in terms of the new law, is that the company is going to be forced to give out more information than it does now. To say, because of economic status as a company, we are not able to keep this such and such employees, and also to extend to issues about retrenchment packages. The retrenchment process.
Just for your own information, the employees have been offered 1 month's salary, and they're going home. And the employees their jobs are going to be done in India. More CITF. PS. Are you aware of a petition to the Minister of higher education by CIT staff, e leng gore na isiwa ka di 29 tsa April 2025.
Okay, Chair, through you, ke kopa hore CITF re alota ya arabe, if you allow me.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, we are aware of the petition, and the Minister received the petition. And also, even when the Minister was addressing staff, the staff minister presented the issue to him.
Do you have any information about the petition ya go arabiale?
Unfortunately, I don't know, sir. I don't know, and I don't have any information. Mr. Rota Arawale.
Okay, PS, this petition, maybe you're not aware of it. How bala hela, it looks like ngela kauta DPP agu agore hormente ki crime scene. So if you read this petition, you can see gore ke go katswa go diragala ya. The main point is like collapse of CITF mandate, lack of commitment to CITF strategy, lack of adherence to governance, wasteful expenditure, thuggery recruitment, selective retention allowance application by board. If the government receives petitions in Zayana and then they say whole year, basa respond. Does that show banale commitment towards improving governance, improving the way should we hope that haba bereki gopehela ba ngorega ka digantsa ga government especially ba rediwa kana ke go amogela hela beteng mo kota se gata fulian be go le ba.
Honorable Moalis, thank you so much for your concerns, which we should all be concerned about. But the most important thing is that what solutions are we going to put in place? Rona se rotoetsa maphata ke gore kana rona re lebaganye le dikgang tsa pereko le tsa selegae ya ka ditiro a rona mme ha ba amogela dilo tse dintsinyana gongwe ba na le ketsaetsego ya gore ba ka dirang ka tsone. We are there to help both sides because, like I said earlier on, Rona, our job is to make sure that we balance the issues. The parent ministry, copy quotas. And by making us a copy, and before Barakwala Runaga Severa, says the village, Botala Patalevan, Canary Bonavana, Babati Sekanko, let's Amaga Kanyamhuta. Yanu ye, Haki, Hakolo, Hakis or Kaho get travel. I got to eat the home Kisokan. I may give what you can say or it. Toda like a hands and get them for our Remoho Motafulinha. I let go Horona, Havana like a sense of Horbaka and Kayone. But because I agree with you, for it to take this long, while we can assist and facilitate the process, as so on, we can get a country. Education.
But when we talk about the CEO, have you communicated with the parent ministry to say, Kana, you have long been handed a petition, if not, why?
Thank you, Honorable Member. No, we have not communicated with the Ministry of Labour. Today, the issues with the ministry, we have been reminding and persuading about our parent ministry, but we are still waiting for the responses.
Still really CITF. CITF has not had a board since June 2025. Mika the 1st of April 2026, the regional training manager was promoted to position of training manager, permanent and pensionable. 2 weeks later, they tried to offer him the same position on contract, which he refused. Suddenly, the company had the profiles P2LTD to provide psychometric tests for that above position and that of finance manager. There's an allegation that the acting director wants to get rid of the acting finance manager because of allegation is the acting director took him press last year September and did not retire it. Instructed the acting finance manager to convert it to pedium, but she refused. Now, a punish you. Or an petition last year. If a action, the people who have been petitioned are emboldened to continue doing the maladministration, kind of right, or there are no consequences. Because if those issues last year were addressed, then we would not have these issues. Gore ka gore motho o ganne gore a converte impress to per diem ya no o batla gore tiro ya gago ka re ya khota khopa khopetso ke re PS ga o bone gore gongwe go ha ga re tse di dikgang tse tsone tse serious ha ile gore people are complaining about an officer or an office and then no action is taken and then that office continue perpetuating those only do tse ba lelang ka tsone.
Mere ho itesentona romals no re ke mayo tsereng impressed.
According to the information that I have, I agree these are just allegations. The acting director took impressed last year September. Abasa retired.
Not CEO.
No, how did the acting director? So I don't know who the acting director is.
It's me.
Ke wena. You're impressed was I retired.
No, I took the impress and retired it, and then it was returned.
What's a impressed away retire?
Yes.
No,
I think in the retirement process, there was a mixture of hotel stays and per diems. So I think the issue was just that you cannot combine hotel stays and stay out of hotel. I think that was the contention. I am surprised that that's an issue. It has never come to me or that's an issue.
It was maladministration. It should be an issue.
Yeah, I think the issue here is that now the person who has the finance manager feels that they are being intimidated. But the psychometric test, because if they fail it, they are not competent for the job, and then their job is gone. But the former finance manager never took a psychometric test. I think that's what. But I think the idea is not for
Chairman, there's something that I really wish was hit there. Does it really augur well? I'm not saying your line of questioning is wrong, but rebotsa the person involved, remotsa ka junior gagwe, gore junior gagwe kana ariana. Are we not creating a situation where we are remove his immediate junior? Junior are dile jana le jana and are nyaga kwa nna jalo nano ke a botsa chairman gore gongwe is too direct and personal me ka tloga dira relationship ha na ke le ene ha ke bona go singa motso ke tsa junior ra ke mona kere o ntipotile wa re ke riana no ke ra human nature. Let's be careful.
Magetse stilo ke kopa stilo sa me rights re khonere ke kopa stilo sa me rights ke tsa gore honorable Malusi o di boditse wa supala tota kgaeto na ke yone ya petition e leng gore ile bega le go goroga ko ba neng ba tshwanetse e se goroge gone di khandi dintsi re ntse re di utwa tsa CITF le mona go itileng ke tsa gore ne ra di bua le madirelo a mangwe a CITF a leng gore a go ga bereki a di tswana la sala la bua ke dule ke tsa gore we
nka botsa go hele ke tswa mo go yone
tswa mo go ile o tsene mo go helo
we take it 1 minute hela so
yeah I've been briefed that you are over 13 minutes now.
Yeah, when tota puso tsa me kana ne ke botsa PS go rela I think because of this is not directly under the PS, that's why PS are aware of the issues. So
can you have your
I think the tsa labor, tsa official labor. Have you ever done a perception survey? Mo batswaneng hela gore batswana ba feel yang ka official labor because rona ba re berekang le bone kana ba tang go rona. Ha o mora rnya a me ukula labor batho ba bana mosola ba. Ka gore there is a perception that ba bereki ba labor ba na le go favor the company kana mohiri. In my constituency we have a number of projects that are going on go dira ditsela go ira all these government projects. mo itha ile gore babereki ba teng ba ta ko rona ba lela there's one company in ene ala batho 1 month contracts and ke ba botsa gore ga ba la ya ko labor ba no rile ko labor batho ba labor ba re thusa ka se so potso ya me ke gore have you done a perception survey and ha ile gore le ke la idira what are you going to do to improve the image ya le gone gore batswana ba tlhaloganye sente gore mandate wa office ya labor ke eng ebile o ka ba thusa jang gore ba se ka ba heletsa yana ba ithoboga ba sa sa le dikgang tsa bona morago.
You know, one of the things that we can do as a minister and employee staff or managers, we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to nya ke ta tsola ka speed nya ne ke re ke a re o no botsa gore dira yang ka yone. We need to renew ourselves. We need to listen to the people. Ha ba re bolela re ska rena go lena go ha re bolela gore a re resente e be re lebile mo goreng batho ga ba re bate kana re lebile mo goreng re ta go reporta batho somewhere. Nna ke tsa gore inward looking ha o itebile sente bo le mo ga gore go aga ke ira sente o ba pile le mo bona re mo ira sente. The best thing is to copy mo go yo dira ndilo sente. So we are doing program ya go how do you call this thing okay menya ya go dira gore batho ba itse gore before ha motho ata go wena a bua ka issue o ipotse gore ha ne le wena e o buang seemo seo o ka bo bata khanye ya address wa ka tsela entsenya. And we got people who are helping us to move in this direction.
exception ya batho hela le babereki private le ba mo pusong go na le kakanyo ya gore office batho ba di office tsa labor ke kakanyo ya batho ba di office tsa labor ba rekwa gore go ntse hela jalo gore le ha o ra o le mo parliament o ra motho gore nya me heta pele ka ba labor ka gore process e demand yalo ebile ha ile sengwe o ka go boela re ha re wena ha o mothusi ra re bola ithoboga so go na le tumelo yo commissioner PS ya gore di officer tsa labor di a rekwa ka gore le ha o ba lebile ka ha ba operate ka teng o itela mo nakong bile ha ba ka nna le bakanyana ba nna le botsalano thata le batho ba di business di hirang batho ba le palonyana so botsalano ja teng jone jo ke go dira gore batho ba lose confidence mo di officereng tsa lona ke re a ke tswa khayo la yitsi that's why ne ga khamala batho ha ne ba tsaka ka khaya corruption kana ke yone corruption yone ya gore jaanong batho e be le gore a ngwe ba didimatswa ka go neelwa di free binyana ke re a ke tswa lwa yitsi a lo sa yitsi itse gore teng me lo ka tsa kgato entseng ja go le ka go thabolola seemo go di office tsa lona ka gore di lateretswe ke boleng go telele ke bua hela tota ke raida mo o sene se bua ko nna mo alusi le ta ya khela ona re ke khone ta ya khela e tsele ya khela tsedi
thank you PS maloba ha utswa ba di union specifically bopeu ba ne ba kwala lekwalo le ke dumela gore le wena ba le go kwaletsa kana ba le go hile ba re ga se boamaruri gore go nnile le ditherisano ka bokopano jwa BNPC le IDM le yone union ga re ka ke ra re e arabe gongwe ne re ka kopa hela gore a ko re he copy ya la le attendance list ya bokopano jwa teng hela go supa re ke boamaruri no re bolella mo e leng gone go diragetse gape le gone hela go thatswa leina gore IDM ke di hitse di measure le public service college
okay
thank you gore he jone bosupi jone jo he ba re tsube ho
kana
nya ha se re ka ya rabang ha ke re he bosupi jo hela gore o ba consultile le kopanye gone mo hela ke re gone mo go taba gore a gore nya gore boleletse mo ile bo amaruri me potso ke gore BNPC kana yone measure eo e na le board ya appointilwe le ha ile gore ga ena board governance issues di dirwa jang mo go yone SOE
nna ne ke ta go kopa honorable gore ma ke simolle ka yone ya ntha ka gore ha re ka togela dilo di sala ba some of members of the public ba tana le impression ya gore go lo haledi ga dai sent ma ke tlhalose ya BNPC e ka hata sa ga Ministry wa Labor and Home Affairs le Public Service College half ka ditirelo tsa yone tse dingwe di mandate wa tsona ka ha labor tse dingwe mandate wa tsona ka ha DPSM DPSM also through the structure tsene setilwe ene a tsena mo di kgantsa IDM ka if you remember IDM kana no go tlhokagala gore from the beginning e kgaogane le mahatshale kana ne le IDM Eswatini IDM le ne if you remember bana ba le motte ile once that relationship e tswa ka ha molao ga bo go simola relationship ya gore public ID what ke so say DPSM
history o rai khanke consultation with babereki
process ya consultation ya babereki le ya di union members tsa go berekelwang teng ya rona ya BNPC ene dirwa ke rona le ba rona ba BNPC ba tile go go rona kana le meeting le minister re bua ka dikgantse ya ba bane ba eteletswe ke process ya ko ke public service ke ga se DPSM o macholo ona ira le bana ira le bone ko se nka se utwang gongwe ke gore kana bana le structure ba batho go na le structure tsa go simologa bone ha ba berekelang teng hela ya ka o itse o no le mo dineng bo go nna le structure tsa gore ha di tswa ga yana di ya go kopana jang di ya go godimo gongwe se se hithe ke gore di federation tsa bone kana makalana bona matona ke bona go se merero isetseng ha go bone go ka gore re tshwanela ke gore re dire consultation ya gore go loha ga re itse gore go a hela go ntseang go ka nna ga meja go ntseana kana ga meja go ntseana mme a lona ditiro tsa lona di guaranteed rona re bue gore ha ile di guaranteed di a go guaranteewa ka tsela ntsenga ha ile gore di a go se ke di nna teng go a go ira ka lona.
Thank you. Issue ke gore wena mo merging o rerisantse le union ehe
ya BNPC ba ba ka hata se ga rona re ra ba bitsa ra ta rona mmogo le body ya bone ya nako eo
go na le body gompieno
e thopilwe ke leng kana last week go tsere le baka go thoma body me teng e thopilwe last week
go lebega di SOE ka bontsi go na le lebaka ba sa okeletse babereki madi le ha ile ka dinotše tota BNPC yone go tsamaja ebile re lebile gore go na le baka body seo governance issues gore re dintse di wela mo go wena.
Ga ke itse go my colleagues here will assist me go ba maruri gore go na le lebaka dikokeletso tsa mohuta o tse di toilesegile ka gore gangwe re ka re di toilesegile ka gore gangwe le gape di a direga ile ga go a gonna kore go ne ga nna dio di le petsene tsa ira gore go nne lebaka ya bobedi ne yone gore kana body ke yone e na le statutory mandate yone le management gore ba ka seka dilo tse ba di sekasekile ba dumela le tsone ka tseleng tsenya ya no go thoka go nna teng ga body ka lebaka le lena go ne ga ama thulaganyo eo ke ra go BNPC le gale ga se so se siameng gore se nne jalo mme ya ka ke bua se ne sa nna teng le maloba ya ka ne re dira gore body nne teng yana e ne le gore ka gore re ne ra nna le seemo se se ntseng yana re simolola ga kae ke mangwe a mabaka a e leng gore ba ta go itebaganya le
o ra gore ha mmereki wa BNPC ya go reditse gompieno a sologele gore wa kolotiwa ka gore dinotše tse ne di tshwanela ke gore nka be go nnile le movement mme ga wa nna teng ke tshwanelo ya gago
nya ga ka confirma ka gore ya ka o itse mototegi kana go okeletsa motho kana go promote jalo ga go te ka tsela ile ngwe hela go na le tsela di ntse tse libiwang nna se ke eletsang gore re ithere senela hase ke yone kganya gore kana re ne re a re nako ya go sena bode ra nna le seemo se se ntsenyana a re ba teng bogakolodi jo bo netameng gore how do we proceed from here so ga ke na karabo ya gore nka gore a ka re nya ba koloti ya ebile re teo ba duela
PSA, ha re tsena mo staff matters within your ministry o na le di-court judgment tse o tshwanang ke gore babereking ka bo ba duela mme wa ba kolota o na le dikgang tse dintshinyana tsa unfair promotions motho ha ka go botsa maikelo ke eng le go duela babereki ba ka tsone di-judgment tseo tsa baathudi secondly maikalelo ke eng ka go bankanya tsamaiso ya di-promotion mo ministry for example within your directors deputy directors ga o na ope yo nang le 10 years mo ministry batho ba moviwa go promotewa ba sele ba bangwe ba stagnant ba gono the moral is low o dirang ka gone PS
makisimola ka ene ya gore go promote batho go tsamaya ka tseleng tsa le di-vacant post maloba ha ne re tile ha ne ra hella re tisitse diphata tse di leng teng dingwe tsa tsone ke tsone tse o buang ka tsone tse e leng gore batho ba ne ba na le mme ha o ka di lebela sente ga ke re gore ga se nako e telele di simolola between 2024 to now tse dingwe o itlhela bo deputy ba seo tse dingwe go sena bo director yaanong maloba e se gore ke sutisa potso e o empotsang ke isa go se nna ra tlhalosa gore go na le ha rona re tswang kwa re ntse re kopa gore batho ba re ba sikasikile ka ha re ba bonang ka teng re batla gore yo a tsene yaanong kana ka gore ga re iphirele ga ngwe bo go raya gore ga re dumalane ke raya gore mo go teng yala le bone ba diphisa ba ka go bua e be re sa dumalane ka mabaka ao bo go raya gore go tsaya lebaka ga ngwe be nna kgang ya gore nya tsamaya le o leba leba gape gone go mo le gone go tsaya lebaka mme maikelo a rona ke gore ha ne e rile hela ka ngwaga ono ba ne re ba bonye re batla gore yo a tsena yo a tsena e ka be gompieno re sore re ka be re sa ra araba yaka mme ga re a ineela re kopile gape gore ho ba e leng gore ba lebaganywe ke go thatosiwa maemo kana ba lebaganywe ke dipoelo tse di tabanametsang ka ga ba berekang ka teng ba di bone ba se ka berekela le city o tsweng go halekana le gore honorable ke ne le yone ya di-position tse di sa filwang di-court case mo di-court case ene ya re goga lebaka mme ra dumela gore yone re botoka di dintsinyana yaka o bua ra dumela gore yaanong o ka re tshwere ke ele ya multiple grading ya C grade ka gore ga o ka lebelela mo documenteng ya rona tota ke mokane re ba duetseng bothe ko ntle ga gore ba bangwe mo teng ka nako eo kana ne e le gore ga o duela motho o mo duelele gore ka nako e na le mo scaleng seo ga na a dira overtime le tse dingwe le tsone tshwanetse di duela mme tsone tseo go na le tse di santse di saletse ko morago ne ra bona madi ra ba duela ba bangwe ya kana o itse ba ne ba ntse ba na le babueledi ba bone ba tako go rona ra nna se ra dumelana ka payment plan tse dingwe ke bone di ntseng di goroga tse dingwe di gorogileng go gola kgang ya madi le rona ene ya re mme re ntse re bua le bone le baemedi ba bone gore nya ga se re sekang ha e le gore ga se sekiwa mare ba teng madi mme a re bona madi ra go duela jana go tswa be re duela jana and ke tsaya gore le ha se so se leng gore gongwe mo ka se itumela re tsaya gore go botoka ka gore la bohelo mongwe le mongwe taba a duetswe sa bobedi ke gore tsone di-position tse ne re kana ke re di phanisetswa gore ne re sa tsenya batho ga ne ba tshwanetse go bereka teng re irile gore batho ba se ka boela gape ba tsena mo go tsone ka gore ba tatoga ba ngoka gore dikgang tse di simologe gape.
Thank you. Mo kganyeng ya di-work permit go na le tsamaiso e gantsinyana go lelwang ka yone ntse e buiwa gone o hile sekai sa dikoloi tse di kukang go harologana ga tsone ka 2021 if not 2020 go ile gana di-work permit tse dintsi mo di-mine tsa babereki ba e leng gore ditiro tsa teng beng gae batswana ba teng ba ba ka di dirang mme ne ba di hilo bo 5 to 7 years kgwema qao ke nngwe ya tsone ba di hilo bo 5 to 7 years tumelo ke gore di a hela ngwagao kana ngwaga o tang le setse le se ka sekile go le kae gore a la di renewa kana ga le di renewe ka gore ba eta ba to go bata gore di renewe kana le ba head work permit se sengwe gape ke gore di-truck o ka re tsamaiso ya pereko malahatsheng la Botswana ke gore di-trucka especially BW trucks di tshwanwa ke gore ya be di kgweetswa ke beng gae bata di kgweetswa ke beng gae le dira go le kae gore BW trucks di kgweetswe ke beng gae ga di kgweetswe ke beng gae ka gore go na le fraudulent tendencies activities tse dintsi mo Ministry of Labour. For example, ko Luapi House kwa go na le investigation teng ya gore truck drivers ba hilwe di-work permit ka hatase ga sectora ya temothuo. Yone mme case ya teng e tsamaya kae investigation ya teng se hedile go se tsolo go DPP bangwe ba seka within your ministry kana ja
ke ta bua o tantatsa kganye ya bohelo e buang ke honorable ke kgonegile ya gore motho o ka ithala ana le work permit mme sa lebagana le kwa berekang teng ga se yala mo bakgweetsing kgang eo e teng eo mme kana ka hentseng ya teng very often or most of the time is fraudulent. It has been what they tell it's in a fraudulent way. Ke sone se se question gore go nne le investigation e ne o buang ka yone eo yana investigation ya teng ga ise wele mme le ga o leba dilo le ka hante o kgona o lemoga gore go lomoka ga dilo tse di dirilweng ka teng le ga re se re wetse ga go a tsamaya sentle ke yone kgang e batile le ya kgante le ene re bua e le gore ha ya go wela ya ka re neile batho ba bona le thata ya ka no bua ka DPP le makalana a mangwe a nang le a lebaganyeng gore ba ka tsaya kgato ba tla tsaya kgato mo mongwe le mongwe yo neng a iphithela a dirile selo se ka tsamaiso e sa letelelweng jaanong ya batho ba di-permit tsene di hilwe dingwaga-ngwaga tse e leng gore di tsamaela go hela ke kgang e ntse re e tshwere o hile sekai sa ka matao re e tshwere le bone mme ne ke batla gore commissioner a bua ka yone mme hela mo molao o mošwa go a lebega gore go lomoga go ka thola go direga.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Gongwe jaaka PS a bua in terms of the permits tse e leng gore setse di issuelwe upon submission, Honorable ke kgonegile re tshwanetse gore our assessment di informe decisions tse rang go di tsaya gore we cannot continuously issuing those permits to the company jaaka ne go dirilwe pele. But as for the BW trucks not driven by Botswana, the ministry had taken a decision last year for the truck drivers say permits ga di issue go thelele mo le gore na ga tsosa mo tota le mo the company owners saying, and those permits were only given on certain circumstances but mostly ne di sa neelwe ba tswa kwa go thelele. And seo ne sa go tsa tota gore re se ka ra bona ba tswa kwa ba le bantsi mo di trucking e le bone ba kgweetsang di truck. The issue PS o setse ya mmile ya gore ha go ithelwa le gore go na le kana bothaso jo bo diragetseng upon issuance of a farm workers permit e ya go dirisiwa on a different tiro kampo ka ha ile gore ga go a tshwana ka teng motho o tsela dikgato le ene the company owner tota o tsela dikgato tsa gore a se ka dira jalo mme hela there are those cases tse re di bone tse le gore at certain level tsa go tsela batho dikgato ba ile gore ga ba dira sente ka tsela yone ke a leboga.
Thank you so much. Ke tsa gore re buile re te gore tsamaele ko bukeng tse tsa raitso advisor na re ame ga se gore ngwe ke nako ya go COVID e rutile ka health break World Cup le yone e rutile ka hydration break ora gore a se nako ya gore re tse break ya 10 minutes re tapole dinao re tapole dinao re tere boele dibuka tse tsamaditse ya leboga. Ke tsaya gore re ka simolola ka memorandum of progress. O tla re leader, technical advisor.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Like we noted this morning, re batla gore re leke go suboka re potoke dio tse leng gore di ka addressiwa go thusa gore di hokotse bontsi jwa di-case tse tlhele di le mo listing e. Mme re lebile mabaka kgotsa a ka nna 4 hela. Di-issue tse leng gore tota di tlhokana le attention ya committee, di-issue tse leng gore kgotsa lo ka dirisa di-structure tse lo nang le tsone like internal audit, government audit committee, gore dio tse di trackiwe on a quarterly basis. O di ska tsa boela kwano hela tsotlhe le tsama 1 thebe ma 3 thebe jalo jalo. Yaanong ke tsone dio tse lo tla be re di lebile gompieno. So ke tla tsena mo go ya ntlha Chair ke re on the memorandum of progress go na le mo page 3 ke page 3 go ga kana 3 kana ye ya ntlha ya lai go supa gore auditor general ga itumela ka yone because the auditors do go through the pack before it la committee ha lo sna go submit. Me anong di auditor ba re ga lwa attach di annexure tse di tlhokahalang ya ka yone gone go bona gore mo boxing e ka ha writing e go tile annexure me a gona sepe ga go a kwala ha tla se go kwalwe ai ha la go a kwala sepe. There are about 52 of those that the Auditor General has identified.
52 of those that have no annexure.
No annexure. So, our Auditor General will la committee or is kaya trusted these books. Our happy how kaya go page eng ke ra gore re net remo net re bona gore tota ta bua net. How ya go me tsone di teng go ntse ga batla go senya nako hela di teng di dintsi di 52 or 53 tse leng gore auditor ga itumele ka tsone ka ntata gore ga go attachiwa evidence ha o ka go 27 28 29 ba bona there are blank spaces there and the auditor kana di bereka ka bosupi a kere gore dio tse di kgona go tswala yaanong o lo tla ira jang ngwana
through you, Chair.
Thank you.
Over and above that, 22. How can level memo wa last year? The comments are just the same. For our bazero any report last year, hela evidence. How on any progress is superior for a relevant ha go diragetse.
Mo go tsone 52.
Hanga sample hela page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. When it's so say.
PS. Tabaka dumalana le honorable Malusi. Hati gore di tile di tshwana hela ga dia khoma di ntse hela ka ne di ntse. Can you account for this?
Chair, my chief accountant will assist on this. But rona kutisiso a rona e ne le ya gore ha dilo tse gongwe di dirilwe morago ga cut off date ga di tsenyetswe bosupi di ta tsenyetswa bosupi ha ile gore dumela gore ke tse ka reng ha di tsena kwa tsa tswalwa ke ra gore ne ntse le kutiso ya rona ga ke batla gore e boele ko morago ya ka ya maloba re nnetse. Maybe we had understood it. We are aware of this 52. Me how ka di lebella tsotlhe how ka lebella ene o ta bona go the submitted to Accountant General on the 21/11/2023. Mo ile gore by then se tse hitile the period ya 2022-2023. I get 31st March wa hitile. A ile gore ga se gona gore ra utlwisa sente re ka tsa kgakolo ra dibaka.
A ke re ga ile gore ke November 2023. Gora re fola mo financial year ya 2024. which means nka bo le tsentse le bosupi a ke re tswa mo 2023 ra go 2024 progress ke yone eo kore se ke le ka go se bua kore last year ha le tswa ha le kwatile the same statement everything same expectation was that le tla gompieno le tla le tsentse sone se ne le supile gore se tsene after cut off a kere ile le supi
Chief Accountant o kilo ipona hela o setse morago di khantse kgotsa ka ibile wena yana o stola o le gone kwa o no atogela gala go ntse jalo kgotsa ba ba neng ba le ko ba togetse go ntse jalo
kana gore mathata a matona ke gone gore ya ka gontse PSI ke la bua khantele gore kana di rationalization tse di dirwang tse ke tsone tse dirang gore khantele be go nna go ntsa ka go ntsana gore ta bo tlhalositse gape go budang issue e le ko le so go education and skills development khantele be le ko MELS gore wa MELS wa education and skills development ha tshwere issue ha se tsanong a e transfer lo ko MELS wa e tlogela re to go e bona ha se tsele ko morago a se tse report kana auditor general se tse e supa ele audit issue jaanong with this one ye yone ya ka ne ke tlhalositse ne ke tlhalositse helana last year gone gore e sitse kwa accountant general bo gora gore bo go ithala gore go na le go na le training bond e be e busiwa accountant general e busetse ko ministry wa skills ko department tsa skills jaanong go skills ke bona ba ko skills go rara ba sa go tsaya ba se go tsenya mo liability schedule ba go tsaya training bond e le tseng mo liability schedule gore e busetse kwa accountant general so ba rile ba taisa mo bekeng yone ke ra re ke yone le khanye ke utlwileng ka bona
so batho ba ba re direlang phoso ba ke ba he go ka wena ke ba accountant general
nya rasa accountant general
ke ba
ke department
yone ya MELS
video skills development go mpema go on go dile go nne di teng go no go
gore se se tshwenyang le go gaisa ke gore ga go a hetoga sepe according to the accountant general ene ona le benefit ya gore o lebile tse di hitile o leba yone o ithela le gore go tshwana hela e lengwe gola kana ke gone ga e leng gore ntlo ya rona le rona e ka nna teng ka gore le ko setšhabeng ko ba re kopana hela go bo re buisanye bo re phatalala bo go sena sepe se se diragala yaanong ga le rialo le raya batho le re ke nnete go ntse jang because ke tsa gore a ke itse gore ga e ntse yana re tsamaisa jang
tota la tsone go raya gore ga di ka ke tsa nna le thuso e kalo-kalo mo komiting go kgona gore tse ditshwetso tsa go radio di salwa morago sentle gore madi a puso a se ka latlhega ka gore ga o sa change comment o raya gore ga se ko o diresepe go botoka hela gore re dumalaneng gore ya ka ne re bua go gongwe re re the PS o na le support ya internal auditor ha ke tsa hose you have an internal auditor motho ke ena ka go hang boroko a go na boroko dio tse o ka di tsaya go raya go kgona go raya di lebelele ba go brief on a quarterly basis e re o tla next year o will be very very sure gore netane rona di accountant re trainetse go ira mo go teng cooking the books we can give you any type of books but the auditors are mission critical gore ba re hetse le nnete tota motho o motshepe ke tsa gore khotsa o ka go di monela on a quarterly basis o bo mo kopa gore a ke reporta o nnetse dio tse gore tsa moga etse
gore ha go sena movement ka session e tang o ra go skata PS re ta bua le PSP gore a bone gore wa gae ke kira gore yaanong go thusang go nna dibuka tse di tshwana le tsa ngogola it doesn't help us so wa ke re hita ntse
re hita ntse yalo chairman me o bona kana go itela gore re grilla ene monga o eleng ena tsoso e rweleng as accounting officer, which is right. Me a go nga go ntsana o itira dipotsa gore kore le management hela as a whole ba tlang le bone ana ba ile gore ke bone di bathusi ba gagwe. I think se chairman a se buang ga sa mane le internal auditor here tota sa mana le rona lotlhe gore work as a team le nne ha ba tse dibuka tse pele ga le tla a be le ditlhoko dumetse tota le itse gore nya re advice tse mogolwana rona. Thank you.
Gone gape yana ke ipotsa gore kana chief accountant Johan ga se ene yo le nang le ene mo bogompieno again yano ene yo na tshwantse go dira tiro e o kae yo buang gore ke ena a sa dirang tiro e ne tshwantse gore a e dira
tiro ya teng ga e dirwa ke chief accountant
e dirwa ke mang
e dirwa ke ba department
di batho ba o ba
department tsa skills ke ona o tshwanetse gore bana ba followile kgannye ba etse re ba ise ko e tshwanetseng go isiwa teng go go ekediwa go sengwa yone training bond mo liability schedule
yano ba teng gone
re motšhotlhe gongwe o ka ya raba ka gore o tswa gone ko o na ikana le ene kgante
re motšhotlhe o ne wa ikana yano ka re bola go tshwara wena
Thank you, Chair. Mahala ke re kgakollo ya utlwala kana le kwa lephate go na le bone ba rona ba di accounts mme gone re ntse re bereka re le team hela nna ke dumela gore gongwe e ka tswa le oversight re tla ipankanya modulasetulo
ipaakanyeng lo re sutisa batho lo re nyadisa batho ba akanya gore re tala ga hela go ta go bua go sena tema re ntse re tae ke toka re go tema le mo narrative ya rona ya go responda mo dikganyeng tsa rona tse di harologaneng ne le lebega le dira sentle yana mo mading ke gakgamala gore go ntse yalo mme ke tsaya gore kgakolo ba emetse internal auditor a bereke le PS a mo reportela na quarterly basis gore kgang di tsamaya kae a re tswelele
a go ntse yalo check tsa gore ya memo ke yone ya la gore ke resubmission at the next sitting
Resubmission?
Kontra error at the next sitting.
ke ya kgakala ya ga gona ka ba ka resubmitang ka teng because a ke ra ba dira tiro kana ha o ba ra gore resubmission in the next sitting or next sitting ha go ntse ya ka go ntse ya ta gore sitting e nngwe ga ya nna ke re a gona ka tsela e pele gore re ka ba rara re mo kgweding tse tharo ba tse dibuka tse lo yena o di bone ka kwano o di rara le ba accountant general le auditor general gore a mme ano re mo seemo resubmission not next sitting within 3 months ya utlwala re motšhotlhe
ya utlwala Chair. Thank you.
PS
ne ke re a 3 months ga motele thata
ya mma ke ba he 3 months
me gape ke re chairman a ga sorry when they do resubmission gongwe re se ka ra bo gape re neelwa dibuka tse ka re tota hela go a tura a ke ra re di romeletse hela mo maranyaneng that will be enough ka re yanong se di nna kana hela mo diofising tsa
yes no you are right 3 months
Chair,
error
I'm not protesting the resolution, but kana kganye hale ya ka ntse buega ke kganye diragetseng ko skills development ba eleng gore le gompieno ga re tracer gore re ka irang gore re rupate so se sente it becomes a problem but how do we clear gore these people bone bane ba kana ko eo ba le baganye le go e report go ba e dire etega ke lebe e be ta kwa ka gore rona ya ka rene re leba e ta re busetsa gone ko ka gore sena se bua ha ke motho sente o bua gore kana ile dilo tse di sona di prepare ene ile gore bone di phata la tele le baganye la borre motšhoti ke rona sentse gore le ise kganyeo ko gore yo go wela yaanong ke lebile gore this interfacing ya rona le bone after all this evolution ya maphata a mantsi a tsa tswa mo teng gongwe 3 months ga ke itse ke ne ke le go hela
a o bona le o montsi thata
o monnye ka gore a go bereka go batla batho ba tshwanetse gore ba arabe dilotse ka gore mo ga re leng teng ga ke itse gore a gona le la le ene mme o re mo adibileng yo ga ka di araba gore di tla tsamaya ka tsela e
nna ne ke re mme ga re dumalaneng jang ga e le re oketsa nako mme after 3 months gone re batla progress report gore tsamaya ga kae you don't want a situation e le gore e tare morago ga ngwaga e be e le gore ga ntse o ntse seemo e le sone
progress ya what are we doing? No, it's okay.
Che, nna ka nagane ke utlwa sentle ba ne ba re evidence e teng bone ba ne ba tseela gore go raya gore ba go etsenya hela ngwaga o tang ka financial year e tabeng e lebiwa e le gore ke yone dibuka di tabeng di tswalwa ka yone yaanong ga le gore evidence e teng unless ne ke sa utlwa sentle kana re sa bolelo boammaaruri ga le gore evidence e teng yaanong o tlhokagala e more than 3 months
right
me che ga utlwa sentle ke ne ke lebile ke bua ka kgwedi e kota se gore kana se ne se tshwanetse gore se diragale ke gore batho bone ba re ne ra hella re ba neele document up to this level evidence e ke ne ka ba itse gompieno e le one bosupi bo re bo beileng yaanong nna ke dumelana go siame 3 months we'll follow them up
3 months
progress
3 months root or progress ke in 3 months a ke re ba te seemo se o le tatang ha morago ga ngwaga e be e le gore seemo ntse ke sonese gape o tela dibuka tse nna ke tsore size ya tsone yo go tsegaleng ka gore ka ha ditane le ditona ngwaga le ngwaga ka teng go supa gore mathata a ntse a teng gone ka so nna ke akanya gore technical advice a ke re beile mo go wena gore yaanong o ba kgarameletse mo 3 months o bo ka re advice gore a mme go nnile tiragalo nngwe e supang tswelelo teng thank you sir
Thank you, Chair. I think hela go responses to the Auditor General. Karki the other part of the document. Yone kutsa mutukali bako page 10. I patagantseli page 16. Kurha really over expenditure against the approved budget, against the approved estimates. However, agarmo page 10 on le 4.7 okay no go godimo go hela kwa departmental services you overspendile ka 1.5 maybe go tla go hiwa khotsa supplementary tse dingwe tse le tsone di hela lo ntse le over expenditure against the approved estimates kana ora that was the budget me go tle go tla le bella mo page 10 o miste budget ka 4.7 million mo di item tseo ko page 16 o miste budget ka 27 million kuri mo ile ngore no budget ile o hitisa hala ka 27 million bo ya ko parlamenteng go tsa batla e supplementary bo enelwa me gone go raeng in terms of your budget process.
Hey, ko re le ke go ya ratela yone
e ma ke kope thato
you missed the budget. You missed the budget or you overspent. Ka on page 10 is 4.7 million. The bottom line there.
Yes.
Is it? Is that fine? Then Armo. Page 10. Agaru bona rona le go godimo kwa departmental services e overspendile against the approved estimates ka 1.5 million agere e be go na le councils conference and exhibitions e overspendile ka 240,000 special expenditure e overspendile ka 643,000 go batla le mo netla The
Oh,
warranted
yeah, no.
provision.
We can name me on.
Yeah, so
Sorry. Kilo I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not say can. Katoar usara bulela niti bokosnor karen kawen. We can as a kind of sorry, we can re. Go ikan home mutret ke khayele kuchani uto urabakanya tedi bukatsi we can uta nsala morago I
that was mokgwa
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee of parliament shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God. Hey, rekabua. Rekabua ya nungore.
The warranted provision. Initially, the approved budget was 4.1 million, and then the warranted provision was 5.649, and then the actual expenditure is 5,640,000, which is below the 5.649. So actually, the account is not overspent. But this is just the variation because lead environments account, but the actual expenditure against the idea voting higher and overspent.
Agree column hearing over plus or under minus approved estimates is over that estimate by 1.5 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
Over the approved estimates, which is the budget, agree?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the cost of that? The approved budget, you came and you said we're going to spend 4.1 million. Warranted this year, Magrikiala or Madia Sarabuki Parliament, Mutua Saina or Nella accounting officer. As it's a Hosa, as a Okupa supplementary Canaili environment.
Environment,
environment, Agrikin Siki over expenditure. Who hit at the initial approved estimate. Matata Maron Hori. Why did you exceed the initial approved budget? 1.5.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hey. Se negele ga go tlhalosa ke gona gore environment e supa gore o thaeditse and ha ile gore o thaeditse go ra gore yaanong technical advisor on are o supe sentle gore jaanong pharologanyo ya budget le the actual expenditure e dirwa ke eng a mme ya re berekela in terms of even the budget process.
But because none gets a lot no good justify or below target or return to reverkel. So rather sing a langa or to see the justification or why not return of this 1.5 million.
Is it about the justification or is about just telling us or Totakorahala Jangore, so se budget talan, let's say hella on the receipt, the body have Lohana, Egatsalene.
Hansi se we write the priority tell a part. Or Halo never by I can never buy 4.1 million initially, but Halo on the activity tell on Hori, Le Patali fill our relations or legidir. That is when the clever return of return environment to it.
The essence of a budget, what I know, I grew the projection, would be the priority.
Yes.
Oliver 20 priority, so they were along 4.1 million. Kiss on the priority, how one of Vayara, or how the priorities are low and early how budget, and also the Talo incident. So, whatever can yet on a high number, a future budgeting really must align with expenditure. I get look at Parliament on a poor way or learn supplementary tan not hat of one Kamabaka, say Mosai Soler. a ke tsore yone e prevalent go le ka he kganya mo ke utlwa on page 16 o ka re na le
ko page 16 o na le 27 million na o lebella gotlhe
wa bona gore go ha discrepancy e bata gore e ela talk. It's not something, I think it's something to be monitored, right? Yeah. I get.
Era go ntse jalo ka gore ra kry ba go tighten the budgeting process to make sure that it is accurate. Go ra ke tsura go na le mathata mangwe a ba sa buing a gore hela ka go te budget ya bulelwa ka April go go ngtlhela le gore already April a hela se tsibile madi a la phimogile. Dio tso di lebelle tsotlhe yana gore a be mathata ile in the budgeting process.
Yeah, me ke tsa gore e utetse a re ne re totobe.
Yeah, me ke tsa gore these are the major issues, Chair. Tse dingwe tota ke tse le gore ke tsa bo overpayment of salary tse le gore la ditse le tsone tshwanetse lo strengthen the control process ya gore batho ba ska ba duelwa overpayment. Go na le tse dingwe tse e leng gore ga di dirwe ka nako hela ke gore motho ke yo ga teng this has got some humor in it. Gate na repotile gore ene ga a yo mo botshelong o tlhokaetse jaanong after a while be le lemoga gore hey motho wa tshela, let's restart the investigation. Mana agile overpayment. So
ana ya lo khanye khanye ntse ana che motho re ne re bua le ba ga rona ba attorney general re ba bolela gore motho ka ga twa tshela wa bona wena ba ra ba rusule
Hello, attorney general yone ke yone responsible for births and deaths. Agri ke rona ba births and deaths.
Ke rona ke nna
re tale
re bua ka bone bosupi bo re buitseng bo gore motho wa tshela ga so ka le rusule di pampiri tsa rona di computer di a supa gore o teng ra ba tisetsa bopaki ba gore motho wa tshela ke nete bere me ka gore wa tshela ha re motogela ra go bata madi a government ko go ena.
Attorney general ne le tsere ka khanya gore motho o tokaetse kana a se lona ba dintshole.
I think it may have been an issue, mistaken identity. Because I think ha sheriff ya tsama ha tsena go lapeng a ithala motho a se yo ba ga bone ba malatola. There's not really much unless baya go bets and des ba go confirm. So I'm glad it was confirmed gore nya mo tsantsa le teng. Then we can pursue it.
Ele gore ke ba sa kope birth certificate kana gore diotse death death kana na certificate ba bangwe kore I think it's antiro tsa lona seriously kore a go ka ya go rakga meskarrakgadi a go ka go go motho wa go cheka gore a ka nnete motho wa tshela o ga tlhokana o botwa go o tlhokaetse gore nya go sia mo botswa tsama show me proof ya gore ga yo mo botshelong a kere la matla gore a duele so totahela officers ka boikokobetso tsa ntiro tsa lona serious nna ke re motho ke re tsa ja ka re motho o kolota wena
gore a kere gone mme ke ra re tsamere re ba inela diatametsi ango ha o tse gore motho ka tshameka ka seemo se sentseng ke ra gona se gantsi ka tsa gore motho ka bua re motho o sule a saso a kere in other instances re tote ene motho yo tabonga follow-ilwe o gona go bua gore nya ke sule ko ile ena a bua ngare ke sule ya no ta gona ke kgateditsa me hala yone eo I think ha gongwe ha go motho o tlhokahetse I think gongwe le rona le le take up issue totale ba ba amegang mo dintshong gore ba te ba check ka gore go lebega gongwe go mo ka nna bo go diragala thata ra le wa raitso go na le kganya ya overpayment of salaries kganye kore maphata ote kore o ka re mo kgabisa mo dibukeng tsa auditor general lephata lengwe le lengwe le na le overpayment of salaries. Ga ke tsore go lona go le itemogetseng go mo le batho go emisa ka tseleng ya. Ke botsa PS le ba madi gore go mo ga overpayment of salaries ke gone mo go kgabiseng dibuka tsa auditor general go gongwe le gongwe without fail malobane re itela ba bangwe ba na le overpayment of salaries e le less than 1,000 ke a re itumetse thata re bona gore nya ba itikile ba tsamaela go zero. Is it possible or in a year or two e bo e le gore mo lephateng la lona re itela e le gore ga gona o pe o duetswe madi a na sa tshwanela go a duelwa e le salary?
Che, kganye ka o no botsa gore go ka dirwa ya. First of all, let's find out how this comes about. Kganye kana ke kganya ka o bua na ke dumelana le wena gore e ka diriwa. I think a lot of it ke buitseme he. Nka ha se kae. Batho ba gongwe go na le overpayment ya motho e le gore motho o tlhokagetse. Kana motho o ngwegile la motirong o disetile. And several other ways. Jaanong hela jaaka re le system e re dirile e supang gore motho ha a buile gore o retire ya mo systeming. Ha go tatsa tsela retire motšhini wa computer ya emisa sengwe le sengwe gone. Jaanong mo kganye ke buanya gore ha gongwe tabe motho a tlhokaetse batho ba tabo ba le teng ba bereka le motho ba iphithong ya gago. Ha ba tswa ba tswela hela ba ntse ba mo duela. So how
batswa pito
batswa pito. So dilo tse dintse le ke now will term it negligence and lack of supervision. Ga ke pege mongwe le mongwe ya lo ke ra nna go ke berekelang teng ha ile gore go a direga motho a go itse go ka the moment hela e se gore re hutsa gore dio di nna kana ha motho go itse go ga sa thola le teng. Why should we communication e tswang e bua motho o di setile kana gore le ke go sa iru gore go itse go twe in the next payroll gora gore motho ga mo teng to an extent ya gore khona go tsamaya ngwaga mo ngwe tsamaya dingwaga. So I think hela ya ka bua gore o ntse mo la etsala gore maphata ba tshwantse rona ra ka ntse ne re ntse re buisana gore ra go etsenya mo system ba gona le controller wa system yo no communication ya go go wena ra motho ga itiro ha ile sengwe ana le bothu le kgwedi kana tse pedi a sa titirong go sena pomoletse salary be emiswa gone ho bo le re to go bua ka dio tsa kgwedi tse pedi gona le dio tsa ngwaga tse pedi.
Yes nyami me ke auto ro etsa ka thwahalo
PS o bua ka go bidiwa consequential management o bua ka gone PS o a re ko ministry wa gago ga go ka nna le overpayment re go sa charge maybe le re sa charge le di PS tse dingwe gore ha di supervise
wa rialo
na alwa akiri alo honorable ha na ke batla go tsenya kgangwe tsenge hela mo go se se builweng ke nna e sengwe hitisa go maphateng a mangwe na ke ne ke re ba ka go observe ka gore ha o eteletse batho go kgona le ba gore ka gore motho o ra itse gore o na absconda ga ba ga report ya gore absconded. Why is it that this person is still being paid? Ka gore motho ra itse gore o na tlhokala for instance. Why is this person still being paid? So batho ba ba tsereng boikarabelo ja gore bona go gore ha ba ka se ka ba dira yalo go ne le official e dedicated communication e go mothong yo mo systeming ga bo go emisi
re go ne re ilare go ne le PS ha motho ga duelwa ka mabaka ona wa bua gore batho ne ba ile phito ya motho mme go tso go mba tsa ngwaga ba ntse ba duela motho yo no ya no gone ha re le ba ma PS kgotsa bohe wena re bolele le tshwantse gore le ba gane le yo re le ba ene o na le boikarabelo ja gore a imise go le go e bila hilo authority ya gore a imise a ba disela gore ga ire so yo kana o tsatsela kgato ko wena a se rona nya o siame he
ke go ba botsa gore rona re le ba PS akere PS o ta le ba supervisor bile ke batla go botsa PS seng gore a mme wena PS o kile wa tsela mongwe dikgato o dirileng jalo ko ministry wa gago
in terms of such charge
anything any disciplinary action you like against somebody who dirileng jalo
nya kana ke sone se ke reng ke dumelana le chairman ka gore le nna ke observe le go gonna me ke yone kganya gore kgato ne ra skera mo etsela yaanong go potso ya ga che ona re ra kanya gore rona re lebile going forward how do we rectify this and nna ke ne ke ntshala ile mogopolo gore o re a dedicated person o lebaganyeng le go loga ka gore
Okay,
madi a government re talosa le mantsi
thata go na le mohuta o mongwe gape mohuta o mongwe gape wa go lusa madi ha gongwe ba tshwantseng go institute a disciplinary action ha gongwe ga ba dire jalo nako e ba e tšhaya bone batho bone bao le bone ka re ba tshwanetse gore ba lebisiwe kgang e gape ba sa chargiwa ko no o tshwanetse gore o lebise motho mola ga o mo lebise molato go ithela nako e heta. We have one such case here ya mohuta o neo and di dintsi le mo maphateng a mangwe le ga gore se ka ra buelela maphata a mongwe le rona re le committee e nne dingwe tsa dikgang tse e leng gore re nna re di gatelela mo go lona le bo PS like ona re moalosi a bua nna re teo re bata madi a mo go lona le ta bona gore le a bata ko kae ka gore wena ko wena the ultimate authority, the accounting officer. Nyame ke tsa gore ithamaletse ke tsa gore ithamaletse kaya overpayment of salaries re ta dira ele a project ya rona gore re na re check gore overpayment of salaries it's a mahakae the circumstances leading to the overpayment ke ne yo kopa gore maloko a committee ga e re tsaya ka mahata ka gore intsi in the last Auditor General's report we are talking about over 19 million in overpayment of salaries. Yano mo ke to ka re batho banna ba zamelwa ba neelwa di loan ka plan ka salary e sa tshwanela gore ba e neela. So ke tsa gore e siame right. O editse.
Yeah. Ke o editse che. Thank you.
Accountant General una le sepe.
Thank you, Chair. I thought maybe for those that they have been cleared, we can close them so that in the next report they would know those ones are closed.
Okay. So I can make a process Accountant General le ka kopanelang le bone and close those technical advisor.
Right, it's an accounting process here. Go bona gore o supikile ene ka kwa ba a re yesa ba a process am system ba ka dira outside the committee.
Okay.
Nyame
a utlwala a ke tsere kgonerile. Thank you. Nyame batho re totse mmogo ne go tsamaya go nna thata ga gongwe mme kana tse tsotlhe tse re di dira ka maikelelo a gore re tokagatse seemo tiro e dira botoka gore ga tiro e dira botoka madi a sa lathege motho gore a gore matshelo a batswana le one a ka nna botoka mme sengwe gape ke gone gore lo a itse lothe gore mo malatsi ya gompieno go lebega puso e tshonne ditemane ga di rekwe jaanong gone mo ka mo gone go raya gore madi a puso a somarole le go gaisa nako epe mme puso le yone e nne bogalenyana mo go reng jaanong ba ba senyang madi a yone ba kgone go lebisiwa melato eo mme gape ba kgone gore ba a duela gongwe mo nako e hitileng re sa kgone go sala batho morago ka gore madi na lebega e leng tetsentetse mme ebile re palelwa ke go a dirisa nako tse dingwe jaanong mo gompieno ga ayo ga o bona go sena madi mo e leng gore mo mailo a mangwe o itela re nganga ka pampiri re miela ya pampiri go tega iyo re nganga ka tonara go tega iyo ka go a gona madi I think re swantse ra ela di otoko ka gore go ra ga o misa 1000 hela ile loss mo pusong go ra ya no tonara ga iyo ko printereng ditirelo ga di goro ko batho so ne ke re a re tshwareng ka thata PS I think ha re lebile the narrative hela the mandate and other issues tse re ne re bua ka tsone go lebega o responda sente but ya madi e go morago ha e ba ka nngwe e re a re kopana gape bo ile botoka gona le ya ka re e ne ntse gompieno ra leboga good night, thank you so much.